1-for-1 by Li Feiyu, so she didn't dare to attack the Starlight base directly. She never expected that with millions of zombies, her speed of improvement would be surpassed by Li Feiyu. Li Feiyu, I admit defeat today, having fallen into your hands. Kill me if you want. With that, Yi Jueying slowly closed his eyes. Oh, Li Feiyu smiled and continued. Yi Jueying, don't you want to take revenge on Su Chen? Upon hearing the name Su Chen, Yi Jueying immediately became excited. Do you know where Su Chen is? Li Feiyu pointed to the building in the distance that was still being besieged by zombies and said with a smile, the woman inside is Su Chen. What? Yi Ju stared at Li Feiyu in disbelief. You're saying Su Chen is that water-type ability user? How is that possible? If she weren't Su Chen, do you think I would have stood by and watched her die? A third-tier superhuman with unparalleled combat power, do you think I wouldn't want to recruit her? Li Feiyu explained with a light laugh. But how did she become a woman? As soon as Yi Jueying said this, he immediately thought of the key figure from more than 10 days ago, the mysterious businessman. If the mysterious merchant gave Su Chen something that day, then it makes sense that Su Chen, with his limbs severed and his crystal core dug out, was able to escape. Given the mysterious businessman's abilities, Yi Jueying had no doubt that he couldn't have done such a thing. But why would the mysterious merchant make a deal with Su Chen? What does Su Chen have that would be worth trading for? Yi Jueying was completely baffled and couldn't understand the mysterious merchant's intention in rescuing Su Chen. Li Feiyu tossed 2 attribute-less crystal cores to Yi Jueying's feet like feeding a stray dog and said, now that you know, come with me. Yi Jueying was stunned for a moment, recalling a painful memory from her childhood. She picked up the crystal core from the ground with a wry smile and put it into her mouth without hesitation. Yi Jueying harbored a deep hatred for Li Feiyu, just as she hated the Yi family members who had died. Li Feiyu didn't care at all. He didn't think he was being unreasonable. The scene of Yi Jueying leading zombies to attack human survivors indiscriminately in the original plot was still vivid in his mind. How could he let Yi Jueying leave easily? Yi Jueying staggered after Li Feiyu and found that the zombies on the street seemed to be unable to see Li Feiyu, and even took the initiative to make way for him. Upon seeing this, Yi Jueying was dumbfounded. Li Feiyu can also control zombies. Could it be? A blurry figure appeared in Yi Jueying's mind. In a daze, the figure gradually merged with Li Feiyu, transforming into Li Feiyu's appearance. Li Feiyu, so it was you who saved me. So that's how it is. From the very beginning, you only wanted to take my crystal core to enhance your spiritual power. Yi Jueying felt an overwhelming bitterness in her heart. No wonder she couldn't find the person who saved her after searching for 2 months. It turns out that the person who saved her was also plotting against her. Being both enemy and benefactor, Yi Jueying's last remaining hope crumbled. P.S. Please encourage me to update more frequently and support me out there. Omega equals. Chapter 83, Dr. Mew arrives. Once the howling of the zombies upstairs subsided, Li Feiyu turned to look at the exhausted Yi Jueying. Go upstairs. Su Chen is also exhausted now. Whether you can get revenge depends on your performance. Yi Jueying gave Li Feiyu a complicated look, then staggered upstairs. She doesn't know what the meaning of her life is now. The only thing that keeps her going is the hatred she has for Su Chen and the hatred she feels for Li Feiyu's scheming against her. Upstairs, after taking down the last zombie that crawled up, Su Chen lay on the corner of the stairs, his clothes soaked through with his own sweat and the black blood of the zombie. Looking at the stairs, Su Chen breathed a sigh of relief. The stairs were completely blocked by zombie corpses, and the remaining low-level zombies wouldn't be able to get up for a while, so he could rest for a bit. You wicked woman, referring to Yi Jueying, I was careless this time. When we meet again, I will definitely take your dog's life, Su Chen secretly vowed in his heart. And Li Feiyu, once I get the Yanggu, I will tear you to pieces. The staircase was completely blocked by zombies. The zombies trapped below were mechanically dragging the zombie fragments blocking the stairs, trying to open a path to the dueling arena for Yi Jueying. Yi Jueying knew that this was arranged by Li Feiyu. The stairwell was completely blocked. In her current state, by the time she cleared the passage, Su Chen would be nowhere to be found. Only these painless and tireless zombies can quickly clear the blocked passage. Less than 2 minutes later, dragged by thousands of zombies, the zombie corpses blocking the stairs collapsed with a crash, and some unlucky zombies were buried alive. Yi Jueying didn't even glance at him before rushing upstairs, intending to take advantage of Su Chen's illness to kill him. Hearing the noise downstairs, Su Chen immediately looked up alertly. When his gaze met Yi Jueying's, the hatred between the two instantly ignited. When enemies meet, Their eyes are filled with intense hatred, and both men's eyes are brimming with murderous intent. Not good. Su Chen's face was filled with horror, his eyes blazing with fury. She was no match for a fourth-tier mental zombie. Run, she had to run. Su Chen immediately staggered to his feet and ran upstairs with trembling legs. Su Chen, prepare to die. Yi Jueying cried out weakly, charging towards Su Chen at full speed. Upon hearing that his true identity had been exposed again, Su Chen froze, his legs tightened, and he almost tripped and fell flat on his face. Damn it, why did it have to be this time? Su Chen cursed inwardly. She immediately realized that Li Feiyu and that shameless bastard with blonde hair must still be nearby. Su Chen died. With just a pause, Yi Jueying, now enraged, pounced on Su Chen. The powerful momentum propelled the two women out of the stairwell and into an office building. Bang! With a muffled thud, the two women crashed heavily onto the messy floor. Before Su Chen could recover, Yi Jueying quickly got up from the ground, smoothly picked up the computer monitor next to her, and mercilessly smashed it down on Su Chen's head. Bang! The monitor slammed down hard on Su Chen's head, making a loud noise. Su Chen felt a sharp pain in his head, his vision blurred instantly. He saw stars, and his head was buzzing. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Yi Jueying grabbed Su Chen's snow-white neck and slapped him hard across the face. For a moment, Su Chen was at a disadvantage, and her pale face was slapped into a pig's head by Yi Jueying. However, this slap also brought Su Chen back to his senses. Feeling the pain on his face, Su Chen, filled with rage, delivered a knee strike straight to Yi Jueying's lower body. The powerful force instantly sent Yi Jueying flying. Bang! Yi Jueying's pale, sickly face made intimate contact with the desk, instantly leaving a huge gash on his face. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Su Chen picked up another monitor and smashed it with all his might against Yi Jueying's head. However, Yi Jueying, being a zombie, felt no pain. She noticed a pen on the table, grabbed it quickly, turned around and stabbed, half of the pen piercing Su Chen's chest. Su Chen winced in pain, hastily retreating while dodging the mouse, monitor, and file folder that Yi Jueying threw at him. The situation reversed instantly, and Su Chen, still in human form, was once again at a disadvantage. Yi Jueying grew more and more courageous in the fight, and directly grabbed an office chair from the side and launched a fierce attack on Su Chen. Faced with Yi Jueying's unstoppable and fierce attacks, Su Chen was inwardly groaning and kept retreating, trying to widen the distance between himself and Yi Jueying. Damn it, this bitch has no pain sensation and is completely immune to injury. I must stall for time and wait for my powers to recover, Su Chen thought to himself, inwardly groaning. As a zombie, Yi Jueying has no sense of pain and doesn't need to defend herself at all, which is an ability that Su Chen does not possess. However, Su Chen also noticed that Yi Jueying was acting strangely. As a fourth-level zombie with strong mental abilities, Yi Jueying should have been able to defeat him with a single mental attack. But Yi Jueying refused to use that method, and instead chose to fight himself hand-to-hand. Moreover, although Yi Jueying's attacks looked fierce, his actual speed was not as fast as that of a third-tier speed zombie. Su Chen could tell at a glance that there was something wrong with Yi Jueying. Judging from Yi Jueying's appearance, it seems to be a sequela of the crystal core shattering. In his previous life, Su Chen had heard of similar things. Humans and high-level zombies would not die directly from the shattering of their crystal cores, but would enter an extremely long period of weakness. The only difference is that zombies can recover by devouring their own kind, while humans cannot. It's not entirely impossible, but there's no case of a single human who has been crippled regaining their superpowers. Even if they find a crystal core, they can't absorb it and are reduced to ordinary people with strong physiques. In previous lives, countless bases conducted experiments, and without exception, those who lost their crystal cores, like ordinary people who had not awakened their abilities, were unable to absorb the energy of the crystal cores. Unless it's a diluted superpower drug, there will be signs of absorption, but the absorption efficiency is extremely low and the speed is very slow, making it a complete waste. Thinking of all this, Su Chen regained his confidence. A fourth-tier zombie without superpowers is no different from a tiger without claws and teeth. It may seem powerful, but it's actually just a sick cat. Any third-tier superpowered individual could easily kill it by using their abilities to kite it. 10 minutes later, ding, under the host's design, the chosen one Su Chen killed the chosen heroine Yi Jueying, losing a major trump card and his luck plummeting by 25,000. The host gains 250,000 villain points. Just as Li Feiyu had predicted, Yi Jueying was indeed unable to kill Su Chen. I still have 125,000 luck points left. Once Su Chen gathers enough crystal cores, we can make our move, Li Feiyu secretly planned. 3 months later, a helicopter slowly landed on the school playground, and a still charming young woman stepped out, looking very much like Mu Zier. Chapter 84. Abandoning superpowers and being driven out of Starlight City. Li Feiyu, where is my daughter Zier? Mu Wongking rushed into Li Feiyu's office, her voice laced with accusation. Mu Wongking stared intently at Li Feiyu, hoping to get an answer from him. Li Feiyu looked up, glanced casually at Mu Wongking and said calmly, dead. Mu Wongking, whose original storyline is the same as Mu Zier's, is one of the most popular concubines in Su Chen's harem. She is the strongest healing healer in Su Chen's camp and has saved Su Chen's life many times. In the original storyline, Su Chen was on the verge of death several times, and it was always Mu Wongking who saved him. After joining Su Chen's harem, Mu Wongking acted as his strategist, devising plans for him and helping him attack various human bases. In the original storyline, Mu Wongking was also one of the masterminds behind the Battle of Yishan Mountain. Li Feiyu naturally wouldn't give this woman a friendly look. Dead, upon hearing this news, Mu Wongking was struck dumb. Her face turned deathly pale, and she swayed as if all her strength had left her, nearly fainting to the ground. Dr. Mu, Dr. Mu. The bodyguard responsible for Mu Wongking's safety quickly stepped forward to support her. Dr. Mu, please don't get agitated. Perhaps there's something more to this. Mu Wongking forcefully shook off the bodyguard's hand, her eyes red as she questioned Li Feiyu. Li Feiyu, why didn't you protect Zier? She's your fiancée. Protect, ha ha ha. Li Feiyu threw his head back and laughed, the laughter echoing in the office, filled with endless mockery. Li Feiyu's gaze fell on Mu Wongking, a ruthless glint flashing in his eyes. Mu Wongking, your daughter conspired with a good-for-nothing to murder me on the 3rd day of the apocalypse, almost killing me in the jaws of a horde of zombies. Why should I protect such a despicable person? Mu Wongking stared wide-eyed at Li Feiyu, her lips trembling, unable to utter a word. Impossible, impossible. Mu Wongking shook her head repeatedly, unable to accept this fact. Her daughter has always been well-behaved. How could she do such a thing? This must be a misunderstanding. There must be some mistake. If you don't believe me, you can ask others. There are quite a few survivors in the school. See if what I said is true. Li Feiyu looked at Mu Wongking with icy eyes. Dr. Mu, let's go out and ask the others. The bodyguard behind Mu Wongking whispered, urging her. Mu Wongking didn't speak. Her bodyguard and Li Feiyu exchanged a glance, and the bodyguard forcibly dragged Mu Wongking outside. The bodyguard next to Mu Wongking was, of course, one of General Li Yunshin's men. Because Li Feiyu hadn't told Li Yunshin about Mu Zier, Mu Wongking hadn't been dealt with yet. Half an hour later, having calmed down, Mu Wongking immediately ran out and grabbed a girl who looked like a student. Does anyone know my daughter Mu? Before Mu Wongking could finish speaking, several superhumans who had just returned from outside rushed over aggressively. Seeing that Mu Zier was still alive and had even run back, they were furious. They kicked the miraculously returning Mu Zier away and then started punching and kicking her. Mu Wongking covered her head with her hands, not knowing how to fight back. Mu Zier, you traitor, you dare to come back. I'll beat you to death today. If you and that bastard Su Chen hadn't stolen my food, I wouldn't have been so hungry that I had to take digestive pills mixed with laxatives. If the young marshal hadn't happened to pass by, I would have starved to death that day. You vicious woman, I'll beat you to death. I'll beat you to death, the lone survivor cursed angrily. You traitor to humanity. If you hadn't led the zombies through our camp, we wouldn't have been forced to relocate, and my brother wouldn't have fallen into the zombies' clutches. If you hadn't taken all our sanitary napkins, we wouldn't have had to turn back so far. You even steal children's diapers. You don't deserve to be called a human being. You even called me a Chunabiu, a person with delusions of grandeur, and broke my limited edition Ultramantiga. Your crimes are unforgivable. This sudden turn of events caught Mu Wongking off guard. She couldn't understand what these people were saying at all. What were they saying about snatching food, sanitary napkins, diapers, and even breaking Ultramantiga? What kind of nonsense is this? She never did it. The bodyguard waited for several seconds before belatedly realizing what was happening and ran forward to persuade them. Brothers, stop fighting. This isn't Mu Zier, this is Mu Zier's mother, Dr. Mu Wongking. Everyone stopped fighting. Not Mu Zier. Mu Zier's mother. He's a doctor. Brothers, give her a good beating. Mu Zier is a traitor who harmed others, and her mother must take responsibility. Yes, failing to properly educate one's children, and raising a scumbag who shattered my Ultramantiga is an unforgivable crime. Everyone, isn't this Ultramantiga going too far? He doesn't even spare the toys. Muzier is truly heartless and insane. Yes, they even steal children's diapers. They're not even human. They're born of a mother but have no mother to raise them. It's one thing to steal our sanitary napkins, but to leave not a single one in a whole backpack, and even said they'd give them to Su Chen to use as stepping stones. He deserves to die. The bodyguard silently took a few steps back. How could Muzier be so inhuman, snatching everything? Young Master Li was being too conservative. He decided to leave this matter alone, as it was someone else's private affair, and he, as an outsider, shouldn't interfere lest he get himself into trouble. Brothers, Dr. Mew is a healing type ability user. If your physical condition isn't good, go easy on her, the bodyguard shouted. Upon hearing that Mew Wonking was a healing type ability user, they fought even harder. Healing type ability users can heal themselves as long as they have a breath left. Since Mew Wonking looks like Muzier, they won't seek treatment from her again. They're not worried about offending her, so they'll just go ahead and beat her up. This is terrifying. The bodyguard swallowed hard. A group of Tier 3 ability users were beating up a Tier 1 late-stage support healing ability user. And he, a Tier 3 ability user, really couldn't handle it. Dr. Mew, it's not that I don't want to help you and I don't want to get beaten either. Just enjoy it. No, I mean silently endure it. The bodyguard silently mourned for Dr. Mew for a second. I was holding back my laughter for the remaining 59 seconds. He dared to plot against our young Master Li. He deserved it. They beat Mew Wonking for a full half-hour before they finally vented their anger. To be fair, being the healing king next to the main characters is indeed powerful. After being ganged up on by a group of third-tier ability users for half an hour, his injuries were mostly healed in just a few minutes. Although these people held back to some extent, they were still quite formidable. By the way, ma'am, what did you want to ask me just now? The little girl who had been pulled back earlier slowly stepped forward. Mew Wonking wiped away her tears. This was the first time in her life she had felt so wronged. She hadn't done anything and knew nothing, yet these barbaric people from the lower class came up and started punching and kicking her. And those elite guards that Li Yunshin sent to protect her just stood there dumbfounded, not even trying to pull her up. When I get back, I must tell my best friend Xiaohu Yuking, Li Feiyu's mother, to give Li Feiyu and Li Yunshin a good scolding. She had to make those two apologize to her, or she would never work for Li Yunshin again. Seeing that the old woman was ignoring her, the young girl decided not to give in to her, as she was a respected second-tier healing ability user. Unlike this wicked woman, whose daughter is not only poorly taught but also has no manners whatsoever, she came up and started tearing at her clothes. I really hope the young marshal can get rid of this wicked woman, so as not to offend people's eyes. 2.5 minutes later, Mew Wonking stormed into Li Feiyu's office in a fit of rage. Li Feiyu, can't you control these barbarians under your command? I just went out to ask about something, and these low-level thugs came and attacked me, a 38-year-old doctor. If you don't give me a satisfactory explanation, I will definitely tell your mother that you deliberately ordered those lowly savages to beat me, and even deliberately caused the death of my daughter. Li Feiyu stared at Mew Wonking in utter shock. This Mew Wonking is truly a talent. No wonder the original plot followed Muzier into Su Chen's harem. She's exactly the same as Muzier. When he cripple her and throw her out. Yes, young Marshal, when he stood up menacingly. He had long been annoyed with the entire old woman surnamed Mew. She looked just like that bitch Muzier, and she started bossing people around as soon as she arrived. Did she really think this was her home? What do you want to do? With a wave of his hand, Wen instantly knocked Muzier unconscious with his powerful psychic energy. Wen then quickly walked over, supporting Mew Wonking's feet, and left the office. Everyone calmly handled matters related to the base, showing no sympathy for the old woman's plight. P.S. Please encourage me to update more frequently and support me out there. 1 letter A1F4 1. Chapter 85 The Tribulation of Lightning descends, and a 7th Order powerhouse is born. In the 18th month of the apocalypse, the 5th Black Rain arrived as scheduled. Li Feiyu arrived alone in the skies above the deep Pacific Ocean. For more than a year, Li Feiyu spent most of his time away from Starlight City. Similarly, in order to accumulate crystal cores, Su Chen, is also searching the world for 4th Order creatures. Through the combined efforts of the two, and the occasional appearances of the mysterious merchant, Li Feiyu's villain Value, finally exceeded 100 million. Li Feiyu was drenched in the torrential black rain, with a blind fourth-tier peak mutated giant squid under his feet. After a long silence, Li Feiyu spoke, "It's time. After the fifth black rain, a large number of fifth-tier creatures will appear one after another, and humanity will face its greatest crisis." In the original storyline, by the third month of the apocalypse, most of the human survivors had settled down and were beginning to adapt to the new world. By the sixth month, large bases were rapidly expanding outwards. In the eighth month of the apocalypse, a large number of mutated plants and animals appeared. Under the influence of massive insect plagues and mutated plants, the expansion of humankind stagnated and settled, entering a relatively peaceful state of coexistence. Crystal energy weapons also began to appear one after another. In the 13th month of the apocalypse, fourth-order beings appeared in droves like bamboo shoots after a rain. Intelligence was no longer a human privilege, but humanity also rebuilt 107 great cities of the new era. In this era, there is one more Starlight City, bringing the total number of large human cities to 108. The Divine Continent has exactly 36 of these cities, historically known as the 36 cities of the Heavenly Gang. Among them, Yishan City has the largest population base. Its predecessor was Yishan Mountain Base, which is the leader of the 36 cities of Shenzhou Tiangang. The city with the strongest overall combat power is Xingguang City, because Xingguang City has two killing gods, Su Chenyu, the corpse hunter, and Li Feiyu, the thunder god. Su Chenyu, the zombie hunter, is known for her bizarre habit of frantically hunting high-level zombies, while Tianlei Zhenjun shocked the world by instantly killing a massive zombie horde worth tens of millions. Subsequently, when Li Feiyu's peak fifth-tier strength was revealed to the world, all the intelligent high-level zombies and high-level alien beasts immediately became much more obedient. In addition, with the mad demon sister Su Chenyu constantly hunting down high-level creatures, Shenzhou is relatively more peaceful than other places. Systems spend 5 million villain points to exchange for legendary peak combat power. Li Feiyu snorted coldly. Because Li Feiyu had asked the system in advance, and knew that realms beyond the 5th rank would trigger lightning tribulations, Li Feiyu ran to the middle of the Pacific Ocean to temporarily conceal his identity. Ding, 5 million villain points deducted from the host. Congratulations on breaking through to the 6th-tier legendary realm. The remaining cultivation points will be settled after the tribulation ends. In an instant, Li Feiyu stepped into the legendary realm, and a vast expanse of tribulation clouds quickly gathered over the Pacific Ocean. The once clear sky was instantly covered with dark clouds, and tribulation lightning roared overhead. Note, to clarify, black rain is not a normal natural phenomenon, and its occurrence does not change the weather. The next moment, a huge pillar of lightning suddenly descended from the sky, carrying an aura of destruction, and instantly struck Li Feiyu, who was on high alert. Li Feiyu easily withstood the attack, and his heavenly thunder power instantly erupted, completely engulfing the lightning pillar. The heavenly thunder ability itself is also a heavenly tribulation thunder, and its power is the same as that of the thunder tribulation. Thunder tribulation is a test for others, but for Li Feiyu, it is like being fed by God. Meanwhile, in a mysterious space, a kind-looking old man with white hair sat facing a huge purple sphere, both emanating a chilling aura. The white-haired old man chuckled. "You brat, you even managed to steal this little bit of primal power." Chen Zhou scratched his head and chuckled. "I'm just trying to maximize energy utilization, aren't I? Anyway, you don't lack this little bit of energy." The white-haired old man smiled and shook his head, saying peacefully, "Of all the systems I've tested, you're the stingiest." The white-haired old man was the heavenly Tao of this sky, and also one of the evaluation criteria for Chen Zhou's mission. From the perspective of the heavenly Tao, the chosen ones are actually dispensable. Some chosen ones are even like viruses, always causing trouble here or there, which annoys the heavenly Tao to no end. However, due to certain restrictions, the heavenly Tao cannot personally intervene. Therefore, an automatic identification program was set up to outsource these cleaning tasks. Although the heavenly Tao itself doesn't know who the true mastermind behind the time and space administration is, at least it can have some peace and quiet, except for the occasional need to grade the newbies they send in. "That shouldn't count, right?" Chen Zhou smiled sincerely. The old man ignored Chen Zhou and directly recognized a ball of light, saying, "This is your reward for becoming a full member." Chen Zhou grabbed it and refined it in an instant. Looking up, the old man had mysteriously vanished. Chen Zhou took the teapot that the celestial Tao had forgotten to take with him, and with a whoosh, returned to Li Feiyu's body, resuming control of the artificial code. At this moment, Li Feiyu had just completed the 6th-tier legendary tribulation, and his aura instantly rose from the mid-legendary stage to the peak of the legendary stage. Before the thunderclouds dissipated, Li Feiyu immediately shouted, "System, exchange for 7th-tier immortal combat power for me. Ding, 50 million villain points deducted from the host. Congratulations on breaking through to the 7th-tier immortal realm. The remaining cultivation points will be calculated after the tribulation ends." As the villain value was deducted, Li Feiyu felt a surge of boundless power within his body. In an instant, his aura began to rise rapidly, breaking through the bottleneck of the legendary realm and successfully entering the immortal realm. At this moment, the heavens and earth seemed to tremble. The wind and clouds changed color, lightning flashed and thunder roared, and the tribulation clouds that had just dispersed ray condensed. And the invisible tribulation clouds immediately enveloped this pale blue planet. Li Feiyu's body emitted dazzling lightning, and his eyes shone like stars, full of depth and mystery. Li Feiyu felt a strange connection between himself and this world, as if he could control everything. The power of the immortal realm filled him with immense excitement. Now, with just a wave of his hand, he could easily destroy the sun. The tribulation lightning, according to the values set billions of years ago, began to strike wildly at Li Feiyu. Li Feiyu stood still, closed his eyes, and accepted the baptism of the tribulation lightning, his aura rapidly soaring. 7th-tier immortal realm achieved. The great beauty of mainland China. "Holy moly, God has come to save us," exclaimed an old man with blonde hair and blue eyes. "May the Lord be merciful. May the Lord be merciful." Countless survivors of this beautiful continent clasped their hands together and prayed sincerely, hoping that God would sweep away the evil and save humanity. In a certain place in China, a stunningly beautiful young woman stared in horror at the Pacific Ocean, her face extremely pale. She clenched her fists. "Damn it, I didn't expect a 6th-tier legend to be born so quickly in this lifetime." She gave a wry smile. "The timing of my appearance was brought forward by almost a year. It seems to be another butterfly effect caused by my rebirth. However, the lightning tribulation occurred deep in the Pacific Ocean, so it should be a breakthrough by some ocean overlord, not that bastard Li Feiyu. Thank goodness." Su Chen couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. As long as it's not Li Feiyu who breaks through, she still has a chance to overtake him. Pin him down, humiliate him, and let him know how powerful she is. The thought of Li Feiyu made Su Chen angry. "Damn Li Feiyu, if it weren't for you, I, Su Chen, would probably be a 5th-level expert by now. And that ocean overlord, he broke through faster than me, huh? Just you wait. Once I become a legend, I'll definitely capture you and make you into soup," Su Chen secretly vowed. Yi Tianchen and Li Yunchen stared grimly at the Pacific Ocean, unable to calm down for a long time. Just then, a jade-like hand gently grasped Li Yunchen's. Li Yunchen turned his head and gently pulled the person into his arms. The two nestled together, watching the lightning over the Pacific Ocean. Zaihu Yuking released a milky white soft light, which was like a spring breeze that swept over Li Yunchen's heart, dispelling all the negative emotions deep in his heart. "Whether in life or death, we'll always be together." Li Yunchen looked earnestly at his first love in his arms. Zaihu Yuking tilted her head slightly, her bright and beautiful eyes fixed on Li Yunchen's, and asked softly, "What about Lear?" Li Yunchen gently patted Zaihu Yuking's back, smiled tenderly, and comforted him. "Children and grandchildren have their own blessings. If Lear cannot break through, then so be it." Li Feiyu 6. Chapter 86, The Death of Su Chen. In the blink of an eye, another half-month has passed. For the past 2 weeks, the weather has been fine and peaceful. The terrifying lightning strike in the depths of the Pacific Ocean has gradually faded from people's memories, and everyone has returned to their thrilling yet busy lives. 5 powerful individuals of the 5th rank have emerged in Shenzhou. Li Yunchen, the commander of Yishan Mountain, Zaihu Yuking of Yishan Mountain, Sang Biao of Xinguang City, He Sihai of Xuguang City, and Yu Qianli of Bishui Palace. There must be some hidden figures among them, such as Wen He and Chen Dengyang, the strategists of Starlight City, Liu Kuntu, the weapon master of Starlight City, Gao Zicheng, the comedian of Starlight City, and Su Chenyu, the zombie hunter. Under Li Feiyu's instructions, these people did not make a fuss and pretended to be ordinary 4th-level peak ability users, leading Starlight City to deal with the surrounding mutated creatures. As for Su Chen, Li Feiyu is waiting for her in Starlight City, With the Yang Gu in hand, Li Feiyu is not afraid that Su Chen will not come. 2.5 months have passed. Su Chen drove a large truck to Starlight City. The truck was full of 3rd and 4th order crystal cores. Su Chen's strength also increased to the mid-stage of the 5th rank. Worried that Li Feiyu would advance to the 6th rank, Su Chen hurriedly returned to Starlight City with the crystal core. With his mid-stage 5th-tier strength and the mutated water-type ability, Rootless Water, Su Chen was confident that he could leave Li Feiyu's clutches with ease. Li Feiyu, I've collected all the crystal cores you mentioned. What about the Yang Gu? Su Chen asked, standing confidently before Li Feiyu. In order not to reveal that he had been a woman, Su Chen, who possessed mid-stage 5th-order strength, arranged to meet Li Feiyu in the wilderness for a transaction. Open it and take a look, Li Feiyu said calmly, his voice completely still, as if everything was under his control. Without hesitation, Su Chen walked directly to the truck, opened the cargo compartment, and found it filled to the brim with dazzling crystal cores in such large quantities that it was astonishing. Li Feiyu, the number of crystal cores is more than you think. Su Chen paused, then continued calmly. If you don't believe me, I can count them for you. Su Chen felt uneasy. She didn't know if Li Feiyu would keep his promise. To be honest, she didn't trust Li Feiyu's character, but she had no choice. In order to obtain the Yang Gu, she could only choose to trust Li Feiyu. Li Feiyu is strong at the peak of the 5th rank, but she is currently at the mid-stage of the 5th rank. Even if she can't beat her, she can leave calmly. Her only goal today is the Yang Gu, her last hope of turning back. She must obtain it no matter what. Li Feiyu nodded. Count them. Su Chen glared angrily at Li Feiyu, then picked up the 3rd-tier crystal cores. 1, 2, 3, 999,999, 1,000,000, 1,000,001. There are a total of 1,000,000 and 1/3 order crystal cores, one more than expected, which is exactly the case. After verifying the number of 3rd order crystal cores, Su Chen picked up the 4th order crystal cores next to him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 356,534, 499,999, 500,000, 500,001, 500,002. There are a total of 500,000 and 2 4th order crystal cores, with 2 extra, which is exactly what Su Chen said, no more and no less. Su Chen pursed his red lips and looked at Li Feiyu with neither humility nor arrogance. Li Feiyu, I have verified the number of crystal cores in front of you. Take out the Yang Gu, and we will exchange the crystal cores for the Yang Gu. Li Feiyu nodded and took out the lonely Yang Gu from the system space. The Yang Gu quietly rested in Li Feiyu's palm. Su Chen was filled with excitement, and her breathing became rapid. This was the divine object that would turn her back to normal, an otherworldly item brought by the mysterious merchant from another world. After overcoming countless difficulties, she could finally obtain it. Seeing Su Chen's longing and infatuated expression, Li Feiyu pinched the Yang Gu with great interest, and lightning crackled at his fingertips. Seeing this, Su Chen was immediately thrown into a panic. Li Feiyu, what are you trying to do? Don't be impulsive. I've already brought the crystal core you wanted. Don't touch the Yang Gu. Oh, a cold smile appeared on Li Feiyu's lips, and a wisp of lightning surged forth. The Yang Gu's white light dimmed, as if it were about to die. No, please don't hurt the Yang Gu. I'll give you anything you want, Su Chen pleaded desperately. Is that so? Li Feiyu looked at Su Chen with a half-smile. Su Chen subconsciously took a few steps back, his fingers tightly gripping the hem of his clothes. What do you want to do? Su Chenyu, what are you thinking? I wouldn't even take those 2 rotten pieces of flesh on your body if you gave them to me for free. Li Feiyu looked at Su Chenyu with disgust. Hearing this, Su Chen breathed a sigh of relief. Then what do you want to do? Su Chen looked at Li Feiyu warily. Li Feiyu slowly stretched out one foot, then pointed at the shoe with his finger and commanded, My shoes are dirty, lick them clean. Su Chen stared wide-eyed at Li Feiyu in disbelief. She hadn't expected him to make such an unreasonable request. Lightning crackled at Li Feiyu's fingertips. Fine, I promise you. Su Chen lowered his head, satisfied yet angry. She endured it all for the sake of the Yang Gu. As soon as Su Chen squatted down, Li Feiyu kicked him directly in the face. Bang! Caught off guard, Su Chen slammed heavily into the tire, leaving a red footprint on his face. Li Feiyu! Su Chen's murderous eyes were fixed on Li Feiyu. If looks could kill, Li Feiyu would probably have scraped his skin by now. Li Feiyu pretended to consider it carefully, then laughed mockingly. I thought about it and realized you'd get my new shoes dirty. Li Feiyu, you... Su Chen was so angry he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Li Feiyu actually thought she was dirty. Was she really that despicable? Li Feiyu ignored him and continued. All right, there's a wooden branch over there. Perform something, and if I'm satisfied, I'll reward you with Yang Gu. Su Chen looked in the direction Li Feiyu was pointing, and indeed there was a thick, thorny thorn branch. Li Feiyu, you? Su Chen was so angry that his anger surged like a raging storm. Li Feiyu shook his head helplessly. Since you're unwilling, then I'll leave. I'll just crush the Yang Gu myself. With that, he turned and made to leave. Enough, I'll continue. Su Chen's face instantly turned red to the roots of his ears, furious. Su Chen picked up the thorns and closed his eyes. Half an hour later, Su Chen weakly opened his eyes and found that Li Feiyu and the crystal core had disappeared. The Yang Gu lay motionless on a rock not far away, its body glowing intermittently, as if it would die at any moment. Overjoyed, Su Chen, despite the excruciating pain that prevented her from standing, used all her strength to crawl back to her original form, driven by her powerful will to return to normalcy. The moment my finger touched the Yang Gu, bang! The Yang Gu exploded into fragments of law and disappeared before Su Chen's eyes. For the sake of the Yang Gu, she worked hard for a year, enduring endless humiliation from Li Feiyu and his men. But in the end, her hope was still shattered. "Ah!" Su Chen cried out in despair. Then she fainted. Ding, the chosen one of destiny, Su Chen, has lost his last hope. His Tao heart has shattered, his will has collapsed, his spirit has completely broken down, his destiny halo has crumbled, and his destiny has been reset to 0. The host has gained a total of 1,250,000 rebellion points. Ding, the luck of the chosen one, Su Chen, has been reduced to 0, reaching the threshold for a perfect kill. Host, please kill him swiftly to eliminate any future threats. Upon hearing the system's notification of the kill, Li Feiyu instantly unleashed several powerful attacks, turning Su Chen into a bloody mist. Then it completely crushed the space around Su Chen, and then activated the time-based ability time annihilation to grind all life elements around Su Chen into nothingness. Ding, the soul of the chosen one, Su Chen, has been obliterated. He is beyond dead. Main quest complete. P.S. Please encourage me to update more frequently and support me out there. Omega equals. Chapter 87, A New Beginning. Apocalypse Chapter Side Story. Brief explanation of the Li Feiyu chapter. The system is about to be unbound. Please process the remaining villain value as soon as possible. Unbinding time remaining. 02-29-59. Personal template. Host Li Feiyu, Heavenly Thunder True Lord. Gender male. Age 20. Level 7th tier Immortal Realm. Overall strength comparable to an 8th tier Undying. Powers, Lord of Starlight City, one of the 36 cities of the Heavenly Gang, heir to the alliance leader of the 36 cities of the Heavenly Gang in the Divine Continent, sole heir of the Li clan, a super family, grandson of the head of the Xiaohu clan, a super family. Cultivation technique, none available. Superpowers, Heavenly Thunder LV7, Spatial Control LV5, Time Authority LV5, Weakness LV5, Etherealization LV6, Unending Flow LV6, Seclusion LV3, Endless Life LV7, Undying Flame LV6, Magnetism Control LV4, Rejuvenation of Decaying Wood LV5, Thick Earth LV5, Indestructible Vajra LV5, Metallic Rock Body LV3. Weapons, Ordinary Watermelon Knife, Tier 3 Common Weapon, Ordinary Rocket Launcher, Time-Space Annihilation Gun, Epic Magic Weapon. Remaining Villain Value, 53,652,800. Items in possession, basically everything that exists in this world. Upon seeing his enormous sum of 50 million, Li Feiyu immediately opened the system shop and used 20 million villain points to exchange for an awesome cultivation technique, the 10,000 Laws Emperor Scripture. Then he spent another 20 million villain points to upgrade his 2 superpowers, Time Authority and Space Control, to LV6. With the last 10 million or so, Li Feiyu used 9 million to exchange for a set of epic-level defensive equipment, the Halloween Demon Armor. With the remaining few million villain points, Li Feiyu exchanged for a universe map, some potentially useful gadgets, and 5 pairs of yin-yang reversal goo, among other items. After redeeming the items you want and transferring them all to your personal storage space, the system unbinding time will be 000931. System, will we ever meet again? Chen Zhou didn't speak, but silently pulled Li Feiyu into the multiverse chat group. The Destiny Villain system has added, saving Lord Li Feiyu, to the group chat. Villainous robot, Li Feiyu, welcome newcomer, please post a picture. Western Heaven War Emperor Wang Heianen, welcome, welcome. I charged in and out of Changbampo 7 times, Zhao Zilong. Hello, Brother Li, I am Zhao Zilong. Starry Sky Ice Emperor, Chu Xi's widow. Chu Xi's widow, Zhao Zilong's Taoist partner. Seeing the light screen suddenly extend from his consciousness, Li Feiyu was startled, but quickly recovered. He excitedly asked the system, "System, how exactly do I use this chat group?" This can be achieved through mental manipulation. Upon hearing this explanation, Li Feiyu immediately understood. Oh, I see. So it should be very simple to operate. Li Feiyu tried to write information using his consciousness. Li Feiyu, the savior from suffering. Hello everyone, I am Li Feiyu, a 7th-order immortal realm cultivator from an apocalyptic world. Western Heaven War Emperor Wang Heianen. What? 7th rank. I charged in and out of Changbampo 7 times, Zhao Zilong. 7th rank. Brother Li, what is the combat power of a 7th rank like? Starry Sky Ice Emperor, Chu Xi's widow. Can you destroy a star? Li Zhenjun, Li Feiyu, the savior of suffering. If he goes all out, he can conservatively estimate that he can shatter a small, ordinary star system. Western Heaven War Emperor Wang Heianen, holy crap. I charged in and out of Changbin Slope 7 times, Zhao Zilong. How terrifying. Looking at the message in her mind, Chu Xi, far away in another world, murmured softly, "The return to emptiness stage." Then Chu Kishwang typed out another message. Our world is completely isolated. I recently broke through to the mid-foundation establishment stage, while Zhao Zilong is still stuck at the peak of the 15th level of Qi refining. I am about 4 major realms lower than you. Li Zhenjun, Li Feiyu, the savior from suffering. In my world, you should be at the level of a 3rd-tier ability user. However, my world is a sudden apocalypse. Before the apocalypse, there was no such thing as cultivation, and the cultivation system was immature, so your actual combat strength may be different. Starry Sky Ice Emperor, Chu Xi's widow. I cultivate an alternative cultivation system, and there is no benchmark for my combat power. However, actual combat power varies from person to person, and a single example cannot be used as a general basis for conversion. I charged in and out of Changbin Slope 7 times, Zhao Zilong. That's right. My widow's fighting power is somewhat abnormal. Ordinary martial artists of the same level are no match for her in a single move. Her combat power is estimated to be at least 1 major realm higher. Chu Kishwang glanced at it briefly, then slammed a phone to Zhao Zilong, saying, "Zhao Zilong, it seems you're itching for a beating again." "I was wrong. Wife, I was wrong." Zhao Zilong suddenly felt a soreness in his lower back and instantly admitted defeat. Seeing that the two had stopped sending messages, Li Feiyu silently mourned for Zhao Zilong for a second. For the remaining 59 seconds, I just couldn't hold back anymore, ha. Of all things to say, why did he have to call his partner a tigress in the group chat? He deserved to get beaten up, heh. Ding, system unbinding successful 100%. The Destiny villain system has been successfully unbound. As the system's final announcement rang out, Chen Zhou instantly returned to the Anchor space station. Li Feiyu Huan Extra. After the Destiny villain system left, Li Feiyu continued his mysterious merchant activities peacefully, while also killing zombies and alien beasts to obtain crystal cores to enhance his strength. Some of the enemies from the original storyline who were delayed because of Su Chen were also found by Li Feiyu and secretly eliminated using other identities. In the original storyline, Su Chen's capable alien generals and harem members were replaced by Li Feiyu, who swaggered over to him, offering snake soup, bear paws, spicy rabbit heads, braised whale. In the original storyline, all the edible beasts in Su Chen's harem were tasted by Li Feiyu. It must be said that the meat of the mythical beasts is indeed more delicious than that of ordinary farmed livestock. Li Feiyu also earned the title of Beast Gourmet. Although the beasts disliked this title, after dozens of times the beasts that resisted were boiled in oil, their protests gradually disappeared. High-level exotic beasts are so large that they can't be stewed in one pot. You'd need 2 barbecue grills. This isn't a joke. It's a truth that Li Feiyu has personally experienced. Under Li Feiyu's leadership, the 36 Heavenly Gang cities of Shenzhou developed rapidly. 2.5 years into the apocalypse, an explorer accidentally discovered a high-energy ore. After research, experts found that this ore not only had a function very similar to crystal nuclei, but also did not have the same hierarchical limitations as crystal nuclei. This new ore was eventually named Crystal Energy Stone, becoming humanity's primary energy source and simultaneously addressing the shortage of high-level crystal nuclei. 5 years into the apocalypse, humanity not only recovered its prosperity, but also, with the help of the new energy crystal stone, achieved leapfrog development in human technology, directly breaking through the technological bottlenecks before the apocalypse. The strange beasts that gave birth to higher intelligence also learned from humans to build cities and countries, and began to move towards civilization. Many mutated plants and strange beasts from deep forests, having never clashed with humans, chose to join the human race and become legitimate citizens of the new human civilization. The low-level zombies, devoid of reason, slowly disappeared into the long river of history, thanks to the combined efforts of human superhumans and the alliance of alien beast civilizations. The remaining millions of high-level zombies that regained their intelligence gradually gathered together, moved away from human settlements, and established a zombie civilization. Over the next few hundred years, the zombie civilization will slowly repay humanity with a large sum of compensation. This is what human civilization demands of the zombie civilization. Of course, all the zombies who led the hordes that attacked the human base were also executed. A zombie is a zombie after all. Even if it regains its senses, it will no longer be the same person it once was. After the situation stabilized, Li Yunchen and his wife introduced some outstanding young women of the human race to Li Feiyu and helped him arrange marriages. But Li Feiyu did not agree. With the coordinates of countless galaxy clusters in the universe, Li Feiyu plans to go to other galaxy clusters to see the peerless geniuses of other powerful races. After the situation stabilized completely, Li Feiyu began to travel around, investigating the situation of various civilizations while also searching for medium, large, and super-large crystal energy stone mines. Crystal stones are the hardest currency in the new age, with no shortcomings in terms of purchasing power or practicality, and can circulate among different races. In the year 150 of the new era, Li Feiyu left the solar system and went to visit other advanced civilizations according to the map he obtained from the Destiny Villain system. Taking advantage of his age, Li Feiyu, a seventh-order immortal cultivator, participated in many competitions specifically for young cultivators. Without a doubt, Li Feiyu, at the peak of the seventh-order immortal realm, was invincible. He shamelessly took away countless championship prizes, forcing the organizers to revise the entry requirements overnight. From then on, various talent competitions not only restricted age, but also cultivation level, in order to prevent the sudden emergence of Heavenly Thunder true monarchs. An immortal being who can rival epics, a freak who shamelessly bullies his peers, and even the old monsters can't figure him out. In terms of strength, no one can harm Li Feiyu in the slightest without an epic-level attack. And even if an epic-level opponent does attack, they cannot break through the defense of the Halloween demon armor. In terms of age, Li Feiyu's age is perfectly in line with the requirements of previous competitions. Countless geniuses were instantly defeated as soon as they showed their faces. So what's the point of competing? Even the angelic princess, hailed as the most outstanding in countless ages, was spanked in public by Li Feiyu. This left countless civilizations utterly astonished. The princess, enraged, vowed to repay him 1,000,000-fold, only to be beaten again. Finally, with tears in her eyes, she tearfully admitted defeat. The Destiny Villain system has departed, but Li Feiyu's story has only just begun. The average lifespan of an immortal realm cultivator is tens of millions of years. Li Feiyu is still very young. Chapter 88. Becoming a regular employee in the initial system, executing a purge mission. Back at the Anchor space station, Chen Zhou began submitting the mission settlement. Internship Task 3-3. Rebirth of the Evil Emperor in the Apocalypse. Quest level green. Main quest completion, completed. Task rating perfect. Side quests none. Special missions none. Assessment result, internship assessment completed. Total task income, 2570 origin points main quest settlement, 513 origin points, plus additional assessment reward, 57 origin points, plus assessment pass settlement, 2,000 origin points. Remaining origin points for this mission, 2,600 origin points, total mission points, including the difference extracted from the host. Total origin points, 2,800. In this assessment mission, Chen Zhou not only obtained a massive amount of origin points, but also a primordial origin of the universe, successfully transforming into a primary system. Despite Chen Zhou only having a basic system, his strength and authority are completely different from before. To give an analogy, if Chen Zhou's strength before was a drop of water, then his current strength is a great river, with both quantity and quality undergoing tremendous changes. After being upgraded to a primary system, Chen Zhou's form became more solid than before, resembling a dazzling supernova, with a mysterious purple aura emanating from his body, making people's hearts tremble. Having just been upgraded to a regular system, the improvement is huge, so it's not advisable to absorb source points in the short term, Chen Zhou reminded himself silently. Having just completed my official promotion, the primordial origin of heaven and earth that I refined before is still constantly evolving from its source to improve my life level. If I were to absorb the origin points now, it would be like shining a flashlight directly into the sun, purely useless effort. Let's check the mission first. Chen Zhou decided to focus on the mission first. As a system, completing tasks is the most important thing. Being alone without any spatial anchor points is really boring. Chen Zhou opened the taskbar. In the basic system, tasks could be selected independently. The invincible sun in Law of the Star of Light, orange. The overpowered hero of the elf world, yellow. I'm a tyrant in ancient times, red. Transmigrating to a cataclysmic world, I can create monsters, yellow. Super Tycoon system, orange yellow plus plus plus, special purge mission. Wait, special purge mission. Chen Zhou confidently glanced at it again. That's right, it's a special purge mission. Chen Zhou quickly opened the mission description and gave a brief introduction. An illegal system is disrupting the world's balance. Urgent purge is needed. The culprit can be dealt with independently. The culprit can be dealt with by themselves. Chen Zhou was instantly drawn to this statement. The godly rich system looks like it has a lot of energy, which it can handle on its own. Isn't this just giving him a free gift? Thinking of all this, Chen Zhou quickly clicked confirm, afraid that the task would be snatched away by other system colleagues. After securing the mission, Chen Zhou began to study the specific details of the mission in this world. The world in which the Super Tycoon system currently exists is an ordinary virtual demoplane world, without a martial arts system, and the rudimentary form of the heavenly Tao has not yet been formed. It only possesses the most basic defensive instincts. The plot is also very ordinary. It's about a college student who is bad at studying, comes from a poor family, and is unwilling to study, who gets dumped, then gets bound to a super-rich system, and embarks on a mindless story of showing off and slapping faces. Ultimately, the global economy collapsed, triggering a world war. Taking advantage of the chaos, the super-rich system stole the world's origin, causing the entire virtual demoplane to collapse. The virtual demoplane is a semi-illusory world that exists between illusion and reality, evolving towards reality. Such a world has no heavenly law and is often targeted by certain people with ulterior motives. The mission this time is to bring the Super Tycoon system to justice, restore this world to normalcy, and allow it to continue evolving, gradually transforming into a new real dimension. Without hesitation, Chen Zhou immediately opened a dimensional portal. Mission world successfully locked, dimensional anchor point successfully deployed. A spatial passage appeared, and in a short while, Chen Zhou arrived in this world that was transitioning from virtual to real. Beep, a healthy and fit individual has been detected, meeting the system binding requirements. System binding is 100%. The Destiny Villain system has been successfully bound. Host, He Chunkyu. System, what the hell? He Chunkyu reflexively sat up from his chair. Chen Zhou grabbed the aura of intelligence reduction above He Chunkyu's head and instantly refined it. Yifeng, I'm already with young Master He. Don't bother me anymore, or young Master He will misunderstand. Liu Ruyan looked at the distraught Yifeng with displeasure. Ruyan, why? What do I have that's not as good as that guy surnamed He? Why did you abandon me to be with that guy surnamed He? Yifeng was heartbroken, his eyes red as he looked at the girl. Why? Liu Ruyan gave a self-deprecating laugh, her eyes filled with disdain and sarcasm. Yifeng, why don't you take a good look at yourself? You look so poor, and your entire body costs less than 100 pounds. What makes you think you can give me the life I want? Seeing his girlfriend of 2.5 years abandon him for money, Yifeng felt immense grief. No, I don't believe it. This can't be true. Don't believe me? What do I care if you believe me or not? Look at you, you're incompetent, broke, and your grades are terrible. It's almost time for your internship, and you haven't even completed your required study hours. Tell me, how are you going to support me? If I follow you, am I supposed to support you in the future? Liu Ruyan made no attempt to hide the contempt in her eyes. Yifeng, this is the end of our relationship. I will pay you back the money you spent on me over the past 2.5 years. Buy yourself some nice clothes, and don't let tourists think that Tianhai is not a good city and affect Tianhai's image in the eyes of people all over the world. After saying that, Liu Ruyan walked gracefully toward He Chunkyu's sports car, her high heels clicking softly. Since He Chunkyu didn't get out of the car in the end, Liu Ruyan was worried that Yi Feng might suddenly become angry and hurt someone, so she restrained her words. Young Master He, I've already explained the breakup to Yi Feng. I'm a little hungry, let's go eat. Liu Ruyan had a sweet smile on her face, a stark contrast to the way she had looked at Yi Feng just moments before. He Chunkyu seemed not to hear, staring blankly at the windshield without responding. Young Master He, Liu Ruyan gently shook He Chunkyu's shoulder. Oh, what is it? He Chunkyu was startled awake from the memory fragments transmitted by the system. In the future memory, Yi Feng, who was bound to the super-rich system, rose rapidly through consumption cashback, eventually leading to the bankruptcy of the He family. He Chunkyu's parents committed suicide by poisoning themselves at home, and Yi Feng also turned him into a beggar. Finally, he was thrown into the river and committed suicide in a heavy rain. Young Master He, I've taken care of everything regarding the breakup, Liu Ruyan repeated gently. He Chunkyu nodded, his voice calm. Get in the car. His words were more like an order, leaving no room for refusal. Liu Ruyan's heart tightened. She couldn't understand why young Master He's attitude towards her had changed so drastically. Despite her inner doubts and unease, Liu Ruyan silently opened the car door and got into the passenger seat. The car started slowly, the engine emitting a deep roar, and gradually drove out of the campus. Liu Ruyan sat quietly in her seat, her gaze fixed ahead, but her thoughts had already drifted out the window. Yi Feng remained standing there, fists clenched, eyes bloodshot, surrounded by classmates pointing and whispering, their eyes and mouths full of mockery. Chapter 89, the Super Tycoon System arrives, multiple cash back. As evening fell, Yi Feng wandered aimlessly along Sanxian Street. The sky, like Yi Feng's mood at that moment, was shrouded in a light drizzle. A gentle breeze swept by, yet Yi Feng felt a bone-chilling cold. 2.5 years of effort, and they haven't even held hands. Ding, Super Tycoon System generated. Would you like to bind to it? System bind me now. Yi Feng was so excited he was incoherent. Ding, Super Tycoon System successfully bound. Nice, Yi Feng jumped up excitedly. Suddenly his foot slipped. He lost his balance, tilted sharply to one side, and fell into the green belt next to him. Cough, cough. Yi Feng patted the green leaves off his body, coughed twice on purpose, and changed the subject, saying, System, this was an accident. The Super Tycoon System ignored this seemingly dim-witted human, and instead issued a task directly. Ding detected that the host has just been humiliated by a spoiled brat and a gold digger, triggering the first mission. As a future super-rich man, how can you be humiliated by money? Slap the gold digger in the face and make her repent. Please go to the crowded hotel immediately and spend 500,000 RMB. Mission reward, Rolls-Royce Wraith X1. Upon hearing the mission, Yi Feng almost spat out a mouthful of blood. What, 500,000? He only has 2 yuan and 50 cents to his name, not even enough to buy a cup of instant noodles. How is he supposed to spend 500,000? The host's account balance has been found to be severely insufficient, so a 10-fold cashback will be activated. New mission generated. Becoming a tycoon doesn't happen overnight. You started from scratch, beginning with instant noodles. Don't forget your original aspirations. Please go to any shop and solve your problem of food and clothing tonight. Mission reward, your brother's ball skills. Yi Feng rubbed his rumbling stomach, quickly turned around, and ran towards the small shop he had just passed. On the other side, in the supreme immortal aperture on the top floor of the crowded hotel, Liu Ruyan's graceful figure appeared and disappeared intermittently. Outside the bathroom, He Chunkyu held his phone, reviewing all the information his subordinates had gathered about Yi Feng. Yi Feng comes from a remote southwestern region. His family is poor, with a father who has a broken leg and a younger sister who has just graduated from high school. Yi Feng's mother abandoned him, and his sister Yi Wan Ning when Yi Feng was 7 years old. 3 years ago, Yi Feng was admitted to the computer science department of Tianhai University with excellent grades, becoming a student of Tianhai University, one of the top universities in Kyushu. During his freshman year, Yi Feng fell in love at first sight with Liu Ruyan, the most beautiful girl in the economics department. He was lustful at first sight, and began a crazy pursuit like a simp. After 3 months of effort, Liu Ruyan accepted the pursuit of this fellow townsman from the same city. However, for the next 2.5 years, Yifeng didn't even hold Liu Ruyan's hand. Whenever they finally met for a date, Liu Ruyan would bring a close friend, saying that it was not safe for a girl to go out alone, and that her family was quite stubborn and did not allow her to have any contact with men alone before graduating from university. During their first date, Liu Ruyan explicitly told Yifeng that she had agreed to date him mainly to stop other guys from harassing her, as she was a bit slow to warm up in relationships and hoped Yifeng could understand. Yifeng generously expressed his understanding and said that he would go to Liu Ruyan's house to propose marriage immediately after graduation, proving his love with his actions. After hearing this, Liu Ruyan bought Yifeng a cup of milk tea, which made Yifeng's mouth twitch. For the next 2.5 years, Yifeng saved every penny and skipped classes to work part-time so that Liu Ruyan could have a better life and keep her heart. He often gave Liu Ruyan expensive gifts, and when Liu Ruyan had a lot of classes, he would thoughtfully order exquisite and romantic takeout for her and her roommates. After reviewing the information sent by his subordinates, He Chunkyu now understands Yifeng better than Yifeng's father does. Based on this information, Yifeng is a complete clown and a sycophant, thinking he is making sacrifices for love, only to end up getting friend-zoned. However, the whereabouts of Yifeng's mother have not yet been found. He Chunkyu had several bold guesses about this, but without evidence, he couldn't be certain and could only order his subordinates to continue the investigation. System, can you check Yifeng's personal panel now? Ding, Yifeng, the chosen one of destiny, has successfully bound himself to the Super Tycoon system. His personal panel is as follows. Name, Yifeng, host of the Super Tycoon system. Gender, male. Age, 20. Overall combat strength, 5/6 for a normal person, 10 for the human limit. Charisma, 4. 5 for normal people, 10 is the human limit. Faction, none. Luck value, 399,999. False. Luck level, orange-yellow +++ fake. After reviewing Yifeng's information panel, He Chunkyu asked in confusion, System, why is there a pseudo after Yifeng's luck? Ding, host, Yifeng's luck value mainly comes from the Super Tycoon system. To be precise, Yifeng became the protagonist because of the Super Tycoon system. This means that if the Super Tycoon system is unbound, Yifeng will instantly lose his protagonist status. This can also be understood in this way. In other words, to completely eliminate the hidden danger of the Chosen One, we must solve this so-called Super Tycoon system. Yes, that's right. He Chunkyu exhaled a breath of turbid air. With his status, dealing with Yifeng was easy, but dealing with the Super Rich system was a different story. The Super Tycoon system. Just from the name, you know it's something their civilization can't handle. However, as the saying goes, water will be contained by earth. Now he is also bound to the system. And judging from the current situation, the Destiny Villain system is obviously of a higher level than the Super Rich system. With the help of the Destiny Villain system, dealing with the Super Rich system should only be a matter of time. System, view my personal panel. Host panel. Name, He Chunkyu. Gender, male. Age, 21. Overall combat strength, 6.66 for a normal person, 10 for the human limit. Charisma, 8.8, 5 for a normal person, 10 is the human limit. Faction, Tianhai family. Villain value, 0. Skills, proficient in piano, proficient in racing, proficient in horseback riding, beginner in golf, because I don't really like it. Skilled in business and a novice in stock trading. Ifold. After reviewing the information on the panel, He Chunkyu gained a comprehensive understanding of himself. According to the numerical panel provided by the system, his body was in good health and there were no problems. Just then, Liu Ruyan, dressed in a sexy nightgown, walked over alluringly and said, Young Master He, I'm done showering. Upon hearing Liu Ruyan's voice, He Chunkyu slowly raised his head and pulled Liu Ruyan into his arms. In the future memories provided by the system, Liu Ruyan was a barely acceptable woman. Although she loved money, she knew how to conduct herself appropriately. Especially after Yifeng developed in the later stages and became famous throughout the country, the He family's power waned, and Liu Ruyan did not betray them. In the end, the He family went bankrupt, and He Chunkyu became so destitute that he couldn't afford to eat. Before leaving Tianhai, Liu Ruyan secretly transferred 100,000 RMB to He Chunkyu. It should be noted that Liu Ruyan was in dire straits at that time. Because of Yifeng's words, there was nowhere for Liu Ruyan to stay in the entire Tianhai, and no company in the entire Tianhai dared to hire her. He Chunkyu shook his head, banishing these distracting thoughts from his mind. Nothing more was said that night. Chapter 90, Yifeng and the female shop assistant got into a fight. With the sun high in the sky, after breakfast, He Chunkyu led Liu Ruyan out of the crowded, upscale hotel in Tianhai. "Young master, are you satisfied with the breakfast this morning?" As soon as he reached the door, Wu Shuai, the manager of this branch of the Ren Shan Ren Hai Hotel, greeted him with a smile, his eyes full of flattery and obsequiousness. As Wu Shuai spoke, he carefully observed He Chunkyu's expression, afraid that he might not have done something right. He Chunkyu nodded slightly, a faint smile playing on his lips. It tastes good." Hearing He Chunkyu's affirmation, Wu Shuai was overjoyed, and his smile became even brighter. "Thank you for your comments, young master." He Chunkyu patted Wu Shuai on the shoulder and casually said, "Keep it up." After saying that, He Chunkyu turned to Liu Ruyan and said, let's go out for a walk to clear our heads." Liu Ruyan nodded gently, took He Chunkyu's arm, and walked out of the restaurant with him. "Take care, young master." Wu Shuai stood there, watching He Chunkyu leave until his figure disappeared from sight before turning back to the sea of people. According to his future memories, Yifeng will have his first moment of showing off at noon today. After receiving double cashback overnight, Yifeng's savings exceeded 10,000 yuan for the first time, triggering a new task. As a true tycoon, how can one be without a decent mobile phone? Please go to any Apple flagship store and purchase a mobile phone that you like. Thinking about Yifeng's mission today, He Chunkyu, accompanied by Liu Ruyan, leisurely walked towards the Pingguo flagship store where Yifeng had bought the phone in his future memories, right at the mission's timeline. At the same time, Yifeng walked happily to the front of a luxurious mobile phone store. After glancing at the store name and the familiar English sign, Yifeng straightened his back and strode confidently into the Pingguo Direct store. When the shop assistants saw Yifeng's sloppy clothes and messy hair, their eyes immediately turned cold and disdainful. One of the shop assistants even turned around and left, ignoring Yifeng. Another shop assistant sarcastically reminded him, "Sir, if you just want to come in and see the sights, please don't touch our merchandise without permission." Upon hearing this, Yifeng's mood instantly soured, and he questioned unhappily, "What do you mean by that?" The shop assistant sneered, "I'm just reminding you that people like you from the bottom of society only come to our store to enjoy the air conditioning. You have no purchasing power whatsoever. Please be careful not to make a mess of our store." "Let me see your most expensive phone," Yifeng said in a deep, displeased voice. "You," the shop assistant looked the disheveled man up and down with a contemptuous gaze. He was unkempt, had messy hair, and smelled a pungent odor. "What's that smell? It stinks. Who brought trash into the store?" Another employee complained, covering their nose and fanning themselves to try and dispel the unpleasant odor. "It stinks." The third shop assistant also frowned, looking at Yifeng with disgust, and said unkindly, "Stinky beggar, get out of here and don't affect our business." The shop assistants all expressed their dissatisfaction and disgust towards Yifeng, as if he were a piece of foul-smelling garbage. "What kind of attitude is this? So much for the most prestigious brand and the best service. Is this how you treat your customers, your gods?" Yifeng coldly rebuked. "You, god, you should take a piss and look at yourself. You're dressed in cheap clothes and stinks. Anyone who didn't know better would think you just crawled out of a sewer. Looking like that, you call yourself a customer? What customer in the world looks like that?" The female shop assistant sized up the man, her eyes filled with disdain and contempt, her words dripping with sarcasm. "All right, Kinking, don't waste your breath on this kind of beggar who's despised by society." Another shop assistant stepped forward to stop her colleague, then turned to Yifeng and coldly reprimanded him. "Disgusting man, get out of here right now. We don't welcome people like you." Just then, a new intern walked over. Looking at the disheveled, unkempt man who reeked of a foul odor, she couldn't help but feel a pang of pity. She walked gently to the man's side and said softly, "Sir, please come with me. I will explain our products to you in detail." With that, she led the man to the display area and began to carefully introduce the different models of mobile phones in the store. Looking at the kind young girl in front of him, who was explaining the phone's features to him in detail, Yifeng's displeasure vanished instantly. For the sake of this young girl, Yifeng decided to buy a mobile phone at this store to complete the system task, and incidentally give this kind and pretty girl some sales revenue. Just then, He Chunkyu and Liu Ruyan happened to pass by this Pingguo Direct sales store. "Yifeng, what's he doing in there?" Liu Ruyan was filled with doubt when she saw Yifeng in the shop. She didn't know why Yifeng would be there. Buying a cell phone was definitely out of the question. Based on her understanding of Yi Feng, he simply didn't have the spare money to buy a luxury item like an Apple phone. However, for some reason, Liu Ruyan suddenly felt an urge to go in and mock Yi Feng. She knew this idea was absurd, but she still had a strange urge to go in and expose Yi Feng's hypocrisy. Seeing Liu Ruyan stop, a glint of light flashed in He Chunkyu's eyes. He said gently, "Ruyan, I forgot, your phone has been used for quite a while. Come on, I'll take you inside to get a new one." Liu Ruyan nodded and softly thanked her. "Thank you." "Sir, madam, how can I help you?" A female shop assistant greeted them with a genuine smile. The reason is simple. He Chunkyu's attire was too eye-catching. All the clothes he wore were from expensive international brands. Although the saleswoman had never seen that shirt before, she could tell from her intuition that it definitely wouldn't be cheap. "My girlfriend wants to get a new phone. Could you please recommend one to us and see if there's a model that would suit her?" "Sir, madam, this way, please." The female shop assistant greeted them with standard invitational etiquette. Hearing the person who had just mocked and ridiculed him entertaining others, Yi Feng subconsciously turned his head, wondering who could make this mean woman so enthusiastic. But as soon as Yi Feng turned around, he saw a familiar face. "Liu Ruyan, what are you doing here?" Yesterday, this woman and that rich second-generation guy surnamed he humiliated him together. "I never expected to run into this woman again today." "What a small world, very well. Good timing, Liu Ruyan. Today I'll show you that I, Yi Feng, am also a capable man." Yi Feng thought to himself with secret delight. "I originally thought the first system task would take a long time to complete, but Liu Ruyan actually delivered herself to my door. It was truly a case of getting something for nothing." Liu Ruyan had already noticed Yi Feng, so she wasn't surprised. Liu Ruyan frowned slightly, asking calmly yet with a hint of doubt, "What's so strange about me being here? But what about you? How did you end up here?" "If you can come, why can't I? This Pingguo flagship store isn't owned by you, so why can't I come in?" Yi Feng retorted firmly. "Hello, Yi Feng, let's get acquainted. My name is He Chunkyu, Liu Ruyan's current boyfriend." He Chunkyu stepped forward with a disdainful expression, seemingly provoking her. Seeing that this spoiled young master dared to provoke an attack, Yi Feng sneered inwardly. "He Chunkyu, is it? You've already found your way to death. PS 03-3903 all done. Please urge me to update and support me." Japanese letter FF89. Chapter 91 Yi Feng, go and turn yourself in. Yi Feng looked at He Chunkyu with neither arrogance nor servility. "No need." "Yi Feng, what kind of attitude is this? It's your honor that young master he appreciates you. How can you be so rude?" Liu Ruyan, influenced by the brain drain aura, angrily rebuked him. Seeing this, Chen Zhou made a slight move, openly tampering with the intelligence-lowering halo above Liu Ruyan's head in front of the super-rich system. Upon hearing the name, young master he, the shop assistants couldn't help but gasp. In Tianhai, only the most powerful family in Tianhai, the He family of Tianhai, could be called young master he. They didn't know exactly how many businesses the He family owned, but the vast number of people scattered throughout major cities in Kyushu was just one of the He family's businesses in Tianhai. The supreme immortal aperture, especially the one at the very top of the crowded area, is said to be open only to important figures in the upper echelons of society. Even their general manager only had the privilege of visiting the supreme immortal aperture once, when a senior leader from the head office came to inspect it. In Tianhai, the He family can shake the entire city with the slightest movement. Upon realizing He Chunkyu's identity, the people around him turned their gazes to Yi Feng, their faces showing surprise and confusion. This poor kid named Yi Feng is really ignorant and arrogant, daring to be so disrespectful to He Chunkyu. Yi Feng glanced at the changes in the attitudes of those around him, but he remained calm and composed. A faint smile appeared on his lips. He had never heard of the He family, but they were a future super-rich family. Not to mention just one He Chunkyu, even if there were 10, 100, or 1,000, Yi Feng would not be afraid. "He Chunkyu, you don't need to put on airs in front of me. Even if your He family is incredibly powerful, Yi Feng, will never be afraid of you." Yi Feng's voice wasn't loud, but it was full of self-righteous confidence. "Kid, do you really know what kind of entity the He family is?" A female shop assistant asked with a mocking expression. Yi Feng smiled slightly and said in a deep voice, "Of course I know. The He family does have some influence in Tianhai. But so what? Just because the He family has power and influence, does that give them the right to bully others at will?" Yi Feng shouted this out with great passion at the end. He Chunkyu chuckled and retorted, "When have I ever bullied you?" Yi Feng was speechless. His previous tough stance was completely destroyed by He Chunkyu's words. Upon seeing this, everyone in the directly operated store almost burst out laughing. I thought Yi Feng must know something, but it turns out he's just a nobody. The He family is just somewhat powerful. What an obscure term. It's worth noting that the sheer number of people in a single hotel occupies nearly 70% of the high-end market in Kyushu. Even in many economically developed overseas locations, there are branches known for their massive crowds. This is just the tip of the iceberg of the Ho family's businesses. The Ho family's influence can be seen in many other fields, such as gaming, internet, finance, and entertainment. He Chunkyu shook his head and looked at Yi Feng with disdain. Yi Feng, I know you just broke up with Ruyan, and you must feel unbalanced and resentful. But you should reflect on yourself more, think about your own problems. He Chunkyu paused for a moment, his gaze sharp as a knife, and continued. Look at yourself now, utterly useless, slovenly, and unkempt. What do you think is there about you that Ruyan would like? You're after your lack of money, your rustic appearance, or your lack of hygiene? He Chunkyu looked at Yi Feng with a mocking smile, a hint of sarcasm playing on his lips. Yi Feng trembled with rage. Exactly, this loser is poor and ugly, and he doesn't even shower. He smells sour and disgusting. What normal person would like such a stinky guy? Being with him would mean going to the gynecologist every day, a female shop assistant complained, frowning. If I were that girl, I would have dumped that guy 2 years ago. He doesn't even care about basic personal hygiene. What's the point of having a man like that? Another girl chimed in. This kind of social trash, he wastes air when he's alive, wastes land when he's dead, and wastes money when he's half dead. His parents are really unlucky to have given birth to such a son. They spoke louder and louder, completely disregarding the gazes of those around them and Yi Feng's feelings. Hearing these shop assistants humiliate him like that, Yi Feng was so angry that he almost had a heart attack. A bunch of snobbish bastards. When I'm rich, I'll buy this shop and fire all of you. You'll regret what you did today, Yi Feng vowed silently. Looking at Yi Feng, who was enduring like a ninja turtle, He Chunkyu shook his head and said mercifully, All right, let's not talk about this anymore. Yi Feng, considering that you haven't done anything wrong to Ru Yan during these 2.5 years, I'll give you 1 million as compensation for taking care of Ru Yan during this time. Take this money, leave this world like smoke, and never appear before us again. After saying that, He Chunkyu took out a pre-prepared check from his pocket and threw it at Yi Feng's feet like trash. He Chunkyu, don't even think about trying to insult me with money. Yi Feng may be poor, but I have my bottom line. A mere million can't buy my dignity, Yi Feng declared righteously and passionately. He Chunkyu nodded and softly said, Oh. Completely disregarding Yi Feng's barking, what dignity? A piece of trash who relies on the super-rich system. Does he really think he started from scratch? If this matter could be discussed openly, He Chunkyu would have been rendered speechless by Yi Feng long ago. Seeing that He Chunkyu ignored his counterattack, Yi Feng was so angry that he almost gritted his teeth. Waiter, bring out your most expensive phone, Yi Feng shouted through gritted teeth. Although Yi Feng was furious, he didn't forget his mission. To buy a phone, slap the face of the arrogant shop assistant, and make Liu Ruyan, that gold-digging woman, regret her actions. Facts speak louder than words. Once he gets the most expensive phone by his own merit, these people will realize how foolish they just were. Upon hearing this, the saleswoman, Kinking, quickly took out the latest limited edition Apple phone from the directly operated store and began speaking sarcastically from a distance. Mr. Yi, this is our store's latest limited edition phone. Would you like to pay in cash or by card? Her words were full of mockery. I don't want what you're trying to sell me, Yi Feng replied bluntly. The saleswoman, Kinking, just smiled and wasn't angry. She walked up to the intern who had introduced the phone to Yi Feng earlier and said, Here, this is a sales record that Mr. Yi gave you. Make the most of it. Sister Kinking, but... The intern shop assistant looked at the latest limited edition Apple phone, which was worth 12,000 yuan, and hesitated. There's no but about it. This is what Mr. Yi personally requested. Just give it to him. I believe Mr. Yi won't refuse. After saying that, the shop assistant Kinking turned around and looked coldly at Yi Feng. Right, Mr. Yi. Of course, Yi Feng replied confidently. Yi Feng wanted to give his sales commission to the pretty young woman who had just spoken up for him, so that those employees who looked down on him would regret it. The intern shop assistant forced herself to endure the stench and walked up to Yi Feng. Mr. Yi, this is our latest limited edition Apple from our directly operated store. It's worth 12,000 RMB. Will you be paying by card or cash? 12,000? Yifeng's heart skipped a beat. That's damn expensive. He spent the whole night swiping the vending machine and only managed to save 18,000 RMB. Just one phone cost him two-thirds of that huge sum. Fortunately, he has the super rich system, which can generate multiple times the cashback if he makes an online payment. The minimum cashback is 2 times, and the maximum is currently unknown. Electronic payment, Yifeng revealed a gentle smile. The intern female shop assistant took out the payment code. Drop. Payment successful. Ding, a cashback bonus has been triggered, granting 5x cashback. Host Yifeng's bank card ending in 4250 has received 60,000 yuan. Upon hearing the notification from the Super Tycoon system, Yifeng almost jumped up in excitement. A whopping 60,000 RMB. This was the first time Yifeng had ever seen such a large sum of money. At this moment, Yifeng really wanted to shout, "Super rich system, YYDS." The shop assistant stared at Yifeng in shock. No one had expected that this slovenly, unkempt, and smelly man would actually buy the phone. Just as Yifeng was about to show off, Liu Ruyan suddenly stepped forward and said, "Yifeng, you should turn yourself in." Chapter 92. He Chunkyu, a kind-hearted citizen. Everyone's eyes immediately focused on Liu Ruyan, their faces full of confusion. They simply couldn't understand why this beautiful and charming young girl would make such an incomprehensible request as asking Yifeng to turn himself in. "Little sister, what do you mean by that? Can you tell us the reason behind it?" The shop assistant, Kinking, was the first to react. She stared at Liu Ruyan with wide, cute eyes, looking at her with the curiosity of a child. The other onlookers also looked on with curiosity, casting their gazes at Liu Ruyan as if waiting for an exciting story to unfold. Yifeng suddenly felt a chill. His intuition told him that something bad was about to happen. Liu Ruyan nodded, her beautiful eyes fixed on Yifeng, and asked in a serious tone, "Yifeng, I remember your family is poor. Where did you get so much money?" Yifeng's heart skipped a beat, realizing he had completely forgotten something so important. Yifeng couldn't help but feel nervous, and for a moment he didn't know how to answer. Yifeng stammered for a long time but couldn't utter a single word. Upon hearing this, those around immediately understood why Liu Ruyan had said those things earlier. Students from impoverished families need government assistance to even attend school. Where would they find the extra money to buy luxury goods? Moreover, these are expensive items worth 12,000 yuan, which is enough to cover 2 years' tuition. Could it be that this money was stolen? Someone in the crowd suddenly shouted. Yifeng's face turned deathly pale, and he hurriedly waved his hands in denial. No, I earned this money myself. How could a poor student like you earn so much money in such a short time? You must have done something illegal." A busybody chimed in sharply. Don't make false accusations." Yifeng's face turned red with anxiety. "Then tell me, how did you earn it?" Liu Ruyan pressed on. This is my school grant, yes, this is the grant I saved up." Yifeng quickly came up with a solution. "Student aid? I remember that Tianhai University's student aid program has an additional condition. You can't fail any courses. If you fail an exam, your student aid eligibility will be canceled. Yifeng, you failed 3 major courses last year because you skipped classes. Where did you get any student aid?" He Chunkyu looked at Yifeng with sharp eyes. He Chunkyu had someone find out yesterday that Yifeng failed 3 professional courses and 2 open courses because he missed many classes. Even Liu Ruyan was unaware that she had failed the course. "You investigated me?" Yifeng glared angrily at He Chunkyu. Aside from his professors, counselor, and his 3 roommates, only knew that he had failed his courses. He hadn't even told Liu Ruyan about this. He originally wanted to use the excuse of a scholarship to get away with it, but he didn't expect that bastard He Chunkyu would actually send people to investigate him. How despicable. "Yifeng, don't change the subject. Tell me honestly, where did your money come from?" He Chunkyu looked at Yifeng with a serious expression. "Yes, young man, where did your money come from? Tell me honestly." An old man who had sneaked in from outside interrogated him sternly. "I think it was stolen. Young people these days, they just love to compare themselves to others. They don't have money, but they still pretend to be rich." Sighed one onlooker. Judging from his appearance, he was probably up to no good last night. Hearing the discussions around him, Yifeng suddenly felt a sense of helplessness, as if he were caught in a dilemma. He quickly racked his brains, trying to find an excuse to break the deadlock. Suddenly, Yifeng had a flash of inspiration and quickly changed his story, explaining, "This money is what I saved little by little through part-time jobs, plus previous student loans and grants." After saying that, Yifeng breathed a sigh of relief. This reason was convincing enough, wasn't it? He's a genius, combining student loans, scholarships, and part-time jobs to earn money. Even if these people don't believe it, there's no way they could find out his income and expenditure details. Oh, really? Yifeng, I remember you were so poor not long ago that you couldn't even afford food. If you still have spare money, why are you only eating one meal a day? He Chunkyu smiled at Yifeng. Through their subsequent overtime investigation, Yifeng's every income and expenditure was thoroughly investigated, including even trivial matters such as how many meals he ate a day, how many times he went to the toilet, and how many pairs of underwear he had. As soon as Chunkyu spoke, Yifeng instantly realized that this rich second generation had completely exposed him. Yifeng's expression changed drastically upon hearing this, but he quickly regained his composure. His mind raced as he considered how to resolve the current situation. The Super Tycoon system noticed something was wrong and quickly checked Chunkyu's data, but found nothing amiss. Immediately, the Super Tycoon system gave Yifeng, this idiot, a good whack on the head and gave him a glimmer of inspiration. Suddenly, Yifeng had a flash of inspiration and came up with a brilliant idea. So Yifeng quickly changed his tune and said confidently, Chunkyu, even if I don't eat, it doesn't mean I don't have money. Yifeng paused for a second, then gritted his teeth and added, as for this money, I originally planned to save it up to buy a new phone for that bitch next to you. It's a pity she chose to betray me yesterday, so I'm using it for my own enjoyment. Is there anything wrong with that? Yifeng glared at Chunkyu with righteous indignation. His words were not only meant to leave Chunkyu speechless, but also to make Liu Ruyan regret her actions. This time, the logic was self-consistent, and Yifeng didn't believe that Chunkyu could find any other reason. Chunkyu glanced at Yifeng with feigned disappointment and sighed. Ruyan, call the police. Let Yifeng go in and calm down, receive a proper education, and reform himself as soon as possible. Liu Ruyan nodded, immediately took out her phone, dialed the police, and said that a fraudster had been found at a certain Pingguo direct sales store of Tianhai. Tilde. Not long after, a team of Tianhai law enforcement officers, dressed in black uniforms and standing at attention, arrived at the scene. Who called the police? The enforcement captain asked loudly, his expression stern. His eyes scanned the surrounding crowd, searching for the person who had called the police. Liu Ruyan raised her fair little hand, her face showing a firm and brave expression. Her eyes were clear and bright, revealing a clear shrewdness. The enforcement captain was surprised to find that the person who called the police was a petite and lovely girl, but he also admired her courage. His tone softened as he asked, Young lady, are you saying there are scammers here? Liu Ruyan nodded and answered in a clear and firm voice. Yes, law enforcement officer, it's that person up ahead. His name is Yifeng. He's a poor student who usually struggles to even afford food, but today he bought an Apple phone that retails for 12,000 yuan. She pointed to Yifeng directly in front of her. Looking in the direction Liu Ruyan pointed, the enforcement captain indeed saw a student who was dressed sloppily, had messy hair, and emitted a pungent odor. The other person was looking at him with an "what are you looking at?" expression. Seeing this, Captain Du, seemingly affected by his brain drain aura, waved his hand and said, You guys go and take him back for questioning. Yes, Captain. Several law enforcement officers replied, quickly walking up to Yifeng. Student, someone has reported you for involvement in telecom fraud. Please come with us to the Law Enforcement Bureau to assist in the investigation. Okay, Yifeng nodded confidently. While Liu Ruyan was calling the police, Yifeng had already inquired about the Super Tycoon system. All the money in the Super Tycoon system was transferred through legal channels, and its source was clear, so Yifeng wasn't afraid of being investigated at all. Little did Yifeng know that even with this clear source of funds, Yifeng couldn't explain it at all, and the other party's finance department couldn't give a reason for the transfer either. P.S. Please encourage me to update more frequently and support me out there. Omega equals. Chapter 93, Yifeng's scam about his sister. Ding, the host has successfully sabotaged Yifeng's first attempt at showing off, sending him straight to jail and causing him to lose face in front of Liu Ruyan, becoming the talk of the town. Yifeng's luck value has been reduced by 2,000, and the host has gained 20,000 villain points. The lottery system is now activated. Regular lottery, 1,000 villain points per draw. Silver lottery, 10,000 villain values per draw. Golden lottery, 100,000 villain values per draw. As soon as the first villain value appeared, Chen Zhou immediately launched a lottery event. A lottery? He Chungyu paused for a second, then asked. System, what's the difference between the 3 levels of this lottery? Ding, the host can spend villain points to participate in a lottery, thereby obtaining ordinary rewards, silver rewards, gold rewards, and gold legendary rewards. There is a 3% chance of winning a silver level reward, and a 0.01% chance of winning a gold level reward in the regular lottery. The silver lottery has a 20% chance of winning a silver level reward, and a 1% chance of winning a gold level reward. The gold lottery has a 50% chance of winning a silver level reward, a 10% chance of winning a gold level reward, and a 0.1% chance of winning a legendary gold reward. The Golden Legend, what's that? Ding, the Golden Legend is a super special prize, including but not limited to future technology, physique enhancement potions, lifespan, single domain skills, and knowledge. Damn, that's awesome. Upon hearing the words of the Destiny villain system, He Chungyu was overjoyed. Especially lifespan and future technology, these are truly great things. Please check the corresponding prize pool for detailed prize information, host. Upon hearing about the prize pool, He Chungyu opened the lottery pool. The ordinary prize pool was almost entirely composed of everyday items. The silver prize pool was slightly better, with many more weapons, as well as some software codes and medicine formulas. The gold prize pool had more skill and subject knowledge cards, and even some cutting-edge technologies, among which the Golden Legends included good things such as lifespan, physique potions, and system mall keys. After examining the prize pools closely, He Chungyu realized that there were significant differences between them. Although all 3 prize pools offered common-level rewards, the common-level rewards in the higher-level prize pools were clearly of higher quality than those in the lower-level prize pools. On the other side, Yi Feng was sitting in the cold interrogation room. Name, a male law enforcement officer asked with a serious expression. Yi Feng, Yi as in leaf, Feng as in peak. Yi Feng looked at the 3 law enforcement officers responsible for interrogating him with neither humility nor arrogance. The law enforcement officer in charge of directly interrogating, Yi Feng ignored Yi Feng's attention-seeking behavior and continued to ask seriously. Gender. Can't you watch it? Yi Feng's face showed a hint of impatience, and his tone became somewhat impolite. Yi Feng, watch your attitude? The law enforcement officer looked at Yi Feng sternly, a hint of displeasure flashing in his eyes. I'll ask you one more time, gender. The law enforcement officer asked sternly again. Seeing this, Yi Feng immediately deflated and lowered his head to honestly answer. Male. The law enforcement officer nodded and then asked, Yi Feng, tell me honestly, were you aware of the frequent transfers to your bank card recently? You mentioned transfers. All of my transfers are legal, and there's no problem, Yi Feng said confidently, looking directly at the law enforcement officer. So you were also a participant. What participant? I don't know. All my transfers were legal. You have no right to arrest me. Let me out. Yi Feng stood up angrily. A frame-up? This is absolutely a frame-up. That bastard He Chungyu must be holding a grudge, colluding with officials and businessmen to deliberately frame him. Yi Feng was filled with rage. Sit down, another enforcement officer shouted angrily. Feeling the pressure, Yi Feng had no choice but to endure it and obediently sat down. Yi Feng, you really don't know why the other party transferred money to you? The law enforcement officer asked, posing the final question. I don't know anything. If you want to ask, go ask the person who transferred the money to me. I don't know anything, Yi Feng replied confidently. This money was a cashback from the super rich system. How could he possibly know the reason for this money? The super rich system stated that the money is legal, and there is absolutely no problem with it. No matter what these people say, this money is legal. Seeing that Yi Feng seemed clueless and not lying, the law enforcement officers had no choice but to temporarily end the interrogation. 7 days later, the investigation into Yi Feng's strange fraud case still hadn't yielded any results. Because of the guarantee from the leaders of Tianhai University and the lack of sufficient evidence, Yi Feng was only given a few days of simple criticism and education before being released. However, all of Yi Feng's bank cards were frozen, and he was also restricted to moving only in Tianhai City, making it convenient for him to be summoned at any time. When Yi Feng changed back into the clothes the Law Enforcement Bureau had cleaned for him, he found a familiar, lovely figure sitting properly and waiting for him. Sister, Yi Feng exclaimed excitedly. Yi Wan Ning didn't answer, and even turned her face away, not wanting to look at this bastard brother even once. Seeing this scene, Yi Feng couldn't help but smile bitterly. Over the years, he had ultimately failed his sister. All right, young lady, don't be angry with your brother. He might have been deceived and gone astray by accident. Go and take him to sign the papers and go home. A female staff member walked up to Yi Wan Ning and gently patted her shoulder. Hearing the female staff member's words, Yi Wan Ning's expression softened a bit, and she quickly thanked her sweetly. Thank you, sister. I will take good care of my brother. It wasn't that she forgave Yi Feng, but rather that she didn't want to become a laughingstock in front of outsiders. Yi Wan Ning understood the principle of not airing one's dirty laundry in public. The female staff member smiled and advised, "When you get back, have a good talk with your brother and make sure he doesn't go down the path of illegality." Yi Wan Ning nodded and smiled in agreement. "Okay, sister, I understand." The female staff member nodded and went to do her work. After Yi Wanning and Yi Feng finished signing the papers, the siblings walked out of the Law Enforcement Bureau one after the other, with Yi Wanning walking ahead with a cold expression the whole time. "Sister, sister," Yi Feng called out softly with a wry smile. "Yi Feng, don't call me sister. I'm very disappointed in you." Yi Wanning stared coldly at Yi Feng. Since Yi Feng found a girlfriend 2.5 years ago, he has not gone home during holidays, nor has he cared about family matters. Even when she came to Tianhai City for the start of school half a month ago, Yi Feng did not come to pick her up. The university she was admitted to was right next to Tianhai University, just a half-hour walk away, but Yi Feng didn't even come to pick her up when school started. For the next 2 weeks, Yi Feng was like a dead man. He didn't even make a phone call, let alone visit. A week ago, the Law Enforcement Bureau called, and the officers solemnly told her that Yi Feng had been arrested for involvement in telecommunications fraud. When Yi Wan Ning received the call, she was completely stunned. Yi Feng, this seemingly clueless person, was involved in a telecom fraud case involving nearly 80,000 yuan. When Yi Feng's elderly father, Yi Lvsu, learned of this, he borrowed money from all sides, even mortgaging his house to his neighbors, and barely managed to borrow 100,000 RMB, asking her to find a way to get Yi Feng out. Yi Wan Ning's face was terribly gloomy at the time. She knew that this was impossible, but her father, Yi Lusu, did not understand the law, and Yi Feng was, after all, her biological brother. She could only ask Yi Feng what was going on. Fortunately, after investigation, no substantial evidence was found that Yi Feng was involved in fraud. With the guarantee of the leaders of Tianhai University, Yi Feng was only criticized and educated for a few days. "Sister, I know I've been a jerk these past 3 years. Because of that bitch, I haven't been back to see you for 3 years." Yi Feng apologized guiltily. "Sister, I've come to my senses now. I hope you can give me a chance. I promise I will make it up to you and father." Yi Wan Ning glanced coldly at Yi Feng and casually said, "Oh, Liu Ruyan." Yi Wanning knew that Yi Feng was imprisoned because of Liu Ruyan's report. Judging from this incident, Yi Wan Ning no longer believes Yi Feng's lies. Being a sycophant was Yi Feng's own choice, and engaging in fraud was also Yi Feng's choice. Based on these two things, it's no wonder Liu Ruyan would continue to be his girlfriend. Although Liu Ruyan wasn't a good person, now that Yi Feng has gotten into this mess. In other people's eyes, it's because Liu Ruyan discovered Yi Feng's improper behavior that she chose to break up with him. As for Liu Ruyan calling the police, everyone applauded, praising her kindness and bravery. Yi Feng's actions made Liu Ruyan look like a saint, so it's no wonder that no one else believed his lies. In particular, 2 days ago, Liu Ruyan and He Chunkyu came to Yi Wanning's school and found her, publicly returning all the expenses Yi Feng had spent on her over the past 2.5 years to Yi Wanning. With such composure, Yi Wan Ning couldn't help but admire Liu Ruyan. "Little sister, I'm starting my internship in a few days. Could I borrow your card for a moment? My card is frozen." Yi Wan Ning gave Yi Feng a cold look, took out a bank card from her bag, and handed it to Yi Feng. "There's still 53,000 yuan in the card. Work hard and don't do anything to upset our father. Dad mortgaged the house. Also, Liu Ruyan has transferred all the money you spent on her over the years to this card. Don't bother her anymore." Yi Wan Ning thought for a moment and decided to tell Yi Feng what had happened. Yi Feng took the card and solemnly promised, "Little sister, don't worry. I will definitely make a lot of money, help Dad redeem the house, and then take you guys out for a good meal." Yi Wan Ning responded softly, but she didn't believe Yi Feng's nonsense about making a lot of money later. Chapter 94. Yi Feng, enjoy your last moments of freedom. After sending Yi Wan Ning back to school, Yi Feng did not return to school as he had promised his sister. "System, my card is currently frozen. Could you transfer the cashback money to my sister's card? Ding, it's possible. Modification successful. Host specified bank card change successful. Fund inflow card successfully rebound. Bank card number 43995666. Upon hearing the information about the user-friendly changes to the Super Tycoon system, Yifeng breathed a sigh of relief. Don't worry, little sister, I'll make a lot of money soon, so Dad and you can live a good life, and I'll make that woman who abandoned us for money regret it, Yifeng secretly vowed in his heart. Yifeng clearly remembers that when he was 7 years old, he didn't see his parents when he got home from school in the evening. It wasn't until evening that his father, Yilusu, came home covered in blood and limping. From that day on, Yifeng never saw his mother again. No matter how much he and his sister cried and made a fuss, his father would just shake his head and sigh, saying nothing. It wasn't until he was in high school and talked to his father about this that his father, Chlorophyll, told him. His mother had run away with a rich man who came here to do business, and his father's injuries were caused by that group of people. Upon learning of this, Yifeng silently vowed in his heart. He would definitely make a name for himself in the future, earn a lot of money, and make his whole family live a good life, and make the woman who abandoned them for money regret it. 5 years have passed. He has been bound to the Super Tycoon system, and becoming a tycoon is only a matter of time. He has fulfilled the vow he made back then. 53,000, although it's not as much as I have in my account, it's still easier than at the beginning, Yifeng sighed. He chunk you, Liu Ruyan, you adulterous couple, just wait. You got me imprisoned, froze my money, and even deceived my sister. I'll make you pay, Yifeng vowed in his heart. Ding, the host has successfully escaped danger and is determined to make a comeback. Congratulations, host, on activating a new mission. As a super rich person, how can you not have a set of noble clothes? Please go to any clothing store and create your own luxurious dressing room. Task time limit, 3 days. Mission reward, Lamborghini Veneno X1. Ha, as expected of the Super Tycoon system, it's just what I wanted. Yifeng laughed loudly. By the way, system, could you turn off the cashback SMS notifications? I don't want my sister to see them. Yifeng suddenly remembered the SMS notification issue. The multiple cashback offer was too significant, and Yifeng was worried that his sister would be frightened by the large sum of money being transferred in. The Super Tycoon system thought about it and realized that Yifeng's words did make some sense. Not long ago, Yifeng, that fool, was sent to the police station by a woman, so Yiwan Ning really had to be careful. Ding, SMS expense and income alerts have been turned off. Host, feel free to spend money freely. Yes, Yifeng shouted. If he turns off SMS notifications, his sister won't be scared by his rapid earning. Once he's established himself in Tianhai and made a name for himself across the country, he can slowly explain things to her. On the other side, He Chunkyu carefully examined the follow-up investigation data of Yifeng's family. After several days of investigation, the He family had completely uncovered information about Yifeng's family, including Yifeng's mother. I never imagined Yifeng's family life would be so dramatic, He Chunkyu sighed. Yifeng's mother is named Luo Qiushui. Her family was relatively well off. During her university years, she was abducted by human traffickers while traveling, and after several twists and turns, was sold to the village where Yifeng's father, Yi Lvsu, lived. The Luo family searched for 7 years until 13 years ago, when Yifeng was 7 years old, when they finally found out where Luo Qiushui was. Then the Luo family led several carloads of people to the village where Yi Lvsu lived. Once they caught Yilusu, they beat her to death. When the villagers saw that there were more than 200 burly and strong men on Luo's side, not one of them dared to step forward to help. They could only stand by and watch Yilusu be beaten to death. Chlorophyll covered its head with its hands, begging for mercy and complaining about its pitiful state. Luo Qiushui's older brother, Luo Cheng, was a ruthless character. He was a man of few words and ruthless actions. He beat Yilusu to the point of near death, then took out a knife and cut off Yilusu's genitals. He then ordered the villagers to bring a dog and make Yilusu watch helplessly as the dog ate his genitals before he was satisfied. This tactic terrified the entire village, and those who initially wanted to speak up for Chlorophyll were silenced by fear. Finally, Luo Cheng broke one of Chlorophyll's legs before ordering his men to throw it into a nearby stinking ditch. Then Luo Cheng led his men into each house and smashed everything in the village before leaving in a haughty manner. Chlorophyll was isolated by the entire village from then on. 6 months later, Chlorophyll moved away from the village with her 2 siblings, Yi Feng and Yi Wan Ning. Later, Yi Lusu brought her children to a place with relatively better transportation and settled down. It was from then on that Yi Wan Ning had her own name. Later, under the strong request of the new village chief, Yi Wan Ning was able to go to school. After reading about the Yi family's dramatic past, He Chunkyu was filled with rage. In his future memories, Yi Feng went to the Luo family to show off his power, only to be beaten up and thrown out by the enraged Luo family members. Enraged, Yi Feng wanted to take revenge, but was stopped by Yi Lusu, who had a change of heart. Later, Yi Feng gradually forgot about the matter. A super-rich person like him, who's always showing off and getting slapped in the face, surrounded by all sorts of beautiful women, would never care about such trivial matters. Yi Feng never thought to investigate the real reason behind this incident, even until his death. Of course, in the future trajectory, Yi Feng didn't live long either. When the World War broke out, Yi Feng, the culprit who disrupted the world economy, was directly sent away by a missile. As for the Super Tycoon system, its original purpose was to seize the core essence of the world. After the outbreak of the World War, Yi Feng lost his usefulness, so the Super Tycoon system was directly unbound and arrogantly left with the core essence of this world. Yi Feng, enjoy your last moments of freedom. A glint of shrewdness flashed in He Chunkyu's eyes. System, give me 2 silver lottery draws. Beep, 20,000 villain points deducted from the host. Ding, congratulations, host, you have won a silver-level reward. Mastery of calligraphy. Ding, congratulations, host, you have won a gold-level reward. Grandmaster-level fighting skills. Chen Zhou glanced at it casually and symbolically gave He Chunkyu a life-saving item. The moment He Chunkyu received the reward, a flood of memories appeared in his mind. His limbs instantly developed muscle memory, becoming more agile, as if it were an instinct formed through years of practice. He Chunkyu clenched his fist. His strength noticeably increased, and he could now easily use his waist strength. With his waist and stance in perfect harmony, he felt even more powerful and enduring, and suddenly he wanted to spar with Liu Ruyan. Unfortunately, Liu Ruyan, who is now as delicate as a boneless woman, is attending school, and He Chunkyu can't very well let her skip class. He Chunkyu picked up his phone and dialed Uncle Mo's number. Uncle Mo, please have a few good men keep an eye on Yi Feng. Young master, should I have someone directly? A cold glint flashed in Uncle Mo's eyes. No need, I have my own plans. Yes, young master, I understand. Uncle Mo smiled happily. Chapter 95, throw this troublemaker out. Beep, it's detected that Yi Feng, the chosen one of destiny, has just bought a new car and is about to show off at the mall. He Chunkyu, who was about to take Liu Ruyan to inspect one of his branch offices, suddenly heard a familiar system notification and quickly pulled the car over to the side of the road. I really didn't expect Yi Feng to be so efficient. He's already driving a sports car in just 2 days. He Chunkyu couldn't help but be surprised. It seems necessary to check Yi Feng's specific situation to avoid any unforeseen complications. After a moment's thought, He Chunkyu had his answer. System, open Yi Feng's personal panel. Yi Feng panel. Name, Yi Feng, host of the Super Tycoon system. Gender, male. Age, 20. Overall combat strength, 5/6 for a normal person, 10 for the human limit. Charisma, 4.1. 5 for normal people, 10 is the human limit. Faction, none. Luck value, 397,999. False. Luck level, orange-yellow +++, fake. Property under his name. 1 Lamborghini Veneno sports car, 25 versatile Jade watches, 33 Vacheron Constantin watches, 76 Rolex watches, 55 Prada outfits, 63 Marisfrog outfits. Personal balance, 72,355,869 RMB. Looking at Yi Feng's assets and balance, He Chunkyu couldn't help but feel a surge of surprise. This super-rich system is a bug. In just 2 days, Yi Feng, who had nothing, has more than 70 million in savings. Just as He Chunkyu was secretly amazed, he heard Liu Ruyan's coquettish voice. Young master, why did you suddenly stop the car? Hearing Liu Ruyan's call, He Chunkyu instantly snapped out of his daze from the system panel. He Chunkyu turned his head, looked at Liu Ruyan with a mischievous smile and said, Ruyan, I suddenly want to buy you some new clothes. Upon hearing this, Liu Ruyan blushed and gave a coy, soft, how annoying. Her voice was so low it was like the hum of a mosquito, but He Chunkyu heard it clearly. Ha ha ha. He Chunkyu laughed loudly, stepped on the gas, and drove smoothly towards the shopping mall where Yi Feng was. At the crowded square, Yi Feng, who was there to buy goods, happened to run into Liu Ruyan's other two roommates and their boyfriends. As expected, Yi Feng was mocked by the two women. "Yi Feng, this is not a place for you." Yi Feng raised his head and stared coldly at Lu Kaienqian in front of him. This woman was Liu Ruyan's roommate and was very snobbish and mean. She used to make things difficult for him. Whenever he gave Liu Ruyan a gift without a brand name, Lu Kaienqian would jump out and mock him without hesitation. Sometimes, Lu Kaienqian would even throw the gifts he had carefully chosen into the trash, right in front of him. Liu Ruyan stood quietly to the side, like an indifferent bystander, and never said a word for him. Afterwards, Liu Ruyan would send him a short message each time. "Yi Feng, don't send me anything anymore, I don't like it." Looking back now, perhaps Liu Ruyan already had the idea of cheating on her boyfriend back then, but she just hadn't found a suitable target, so she never brought it up. "You dare glare at me?" Lu Kaienqian pointed at Yi Feng imperiously. "Security, security, a beggar has sneaked in here, throw him out right now." Some people had better know their place and stop fantasizing about a toad eating a swan. Some places aren't for just anyone. Another woman walked over with a smile. Yi Feng watched this scene expressionlessly. He neither refuted nor left, but simply watched quietly as the two people in front of him put on airs. "Kid, I advise you to be smart and get out of here before the security guards come. Otherwise, you'll be thrown out and become a laughing stock." A portly middle-aged man walked over disdainfully. Yi Feng smiled coldly, not taking the pot-bellied old man in front of him seriously. "Security guard? What a joke." Yi Feng had been shopping like crazy here these past few days. How could any security guard not recognize him? And those waiters, they have no sense of propriety at all. They didn't even come to serve me, a big customer. I'll definitely make the manager of this store fire them when I pay the bill. "Sir, madam, please don't argue in our store. If you have any personal grievances, please go to the Law Enforcement Bureau for mediation," a saleswoman said with a smile as she approached to offer her advice. "What?" Yi Feng, Lu Kaienqian, and the others stared incredulously at the young saleswoman. "Waiter, do you know who we are? This is Manager Liu from Six Star Group." Lu Kaienqian angrily introduced Manager Liu's identity. After saying that, Lu Kaienqian introduced the identity of another boyfriend. "And this one, also Supervisor Ma from Six Star Group." "Excuse me, are you still going to kick us out?" Lu Kaienqian looked at the smiling saleswoman in front of her with a righteous indignation. The saleswoman smiled and nodded, saying, "No matter who you are, this is not the place for you to argue. Please go outside and take care of your personal matters." "Ha ha ha," Yi Feng suddenly burst into laughter. "What are you laughing at?" Sun Loyu, another roommate of Liu Ruyan, glared at Yi Feng with a livid face. "It's nothing, I just find you guys funny." Yi Feng shook his head. "Sir, please do not make loud noise in our store." The saleswoman looked at Yi Feng with a serious expression. Upon hearing this, Yi Feng's smile vanished. "Fine, fine, you look down on him, huh? Today we'll show everyone here what true tycoon spirit is all about. Waitress, take down all the clothes in your store, Yi Feng will buy them." With that, Yi Feng tossed his card to the saleswoman's feet with a flourish. "They look down on him, don't they? Just wait until the commotion here gets bigger and the manager comes out. Then these people will know how wealthy Yi Feng, the god of wealth, really is. I hope you can maintain this attitude when your manager comes out," Yi Feng thought to himself. 2 days ago, when he came to buy something, the sales staff looked down on him, this seemingly wealthy man dressed in simple clothes. And what happened? As soon as the manager and store manager came out, everyone rushed to beg for forgiveness. A bunch of snobbish bastards. Yi Feng has to teach them a lesson. Just then, 5 fully armed security guards, equipped with stun guns and other gear, shielded the saleswoman behind them. "Kid, you're the one causing trouble, aren't you?" The security team leader looked at Yi Feng with icy eyes. Seeing this, Yi Feng and Lu Kaienqian panicked. Wait a minute, let me explain, I didn't cause any trouble." "ZZZZZZZ tilde." A security guard rolled over as his stun baton slammed into Yi Feng's lower back. The powerful electric current instantly rendered Yi Feng incapacitated, and the other 2 security guards rushed forward and subdued the troublemaker Yi Feng in no time. This, Lu Kaienqian and the others exchanged bewildered glances. "That security guard is too brutal. He started fighting right away." "You guys," the saleswoman turned around and smiled at Lu Kaienqian and her group. Sister, we're not here to cause trouble," Lu Kaienqian shouted quickly. Yi Feng's fate was still fresh in her mind. She didn't want to be electrocuted and lose control of her bladder and bowels. Manager Liu and Supervisor Ma behind them didn't dare to say a word and stood obediently behind their girlfriends. The saleswoman nodded with a smile, All right, you can continue looking. You lot throw this troublemaker out. Yes, Sister Li, the security guards shouted in unison. Ding, Yifeng, the chosen one of destiny, has been electrocuted by the host and rendered incontinent. He has lost all face in front of the vicious female supporting character. His luck value has been reduced by 3,000, and the host has gained 30,000 villain points. Ding, Yifeng, the chosen one of destiny, was thrown out of the crowded shopping mall in full view of everyone by someone arranged by the host, becoming the talk of the town for countless handsome men and beautiful women. Yifeng felt endless humiliation and was extremely angry. Yifeng's luck value decreased by 5,000, and the host gained 50,000 villain points. Chapter 96. Yifeng, I remember you haven't taken a driving test. Yifeng, what are you doing here? Yifeng had just regained some strength when he heard Liu Ruyan's voice coming from behind him. Yifeng turned his head with difficulty, and sure enough, Liu Ruyan was standing not far behind him, holding He Chunkyu's hand. Hey, isn't this Yi the swindler who went to jail for fraud 9 days ago? What's going on here? Is this some kind of performance art? He Chunkyu exclaimed, feigning shock. Performance art? Some passers-by stopped to listen. Are there still people doing performance art these days? A man in his 60s or 70s looked at Yifeng lying on the ground in the distance with a puzzled expression. What performance art? That poor loser caused trouble at their store and got thrown out by security. A young live streamer who knew what had happened loudly explained. It turns out it was thrown out. I thought it was some kind of performance art. Thank goodness it was a false alarm. Exactly. I always said performance art isn't abstract. How could something this abstract be performance art? I never expected there would still be such outlaws, causing trouble in someone's shop in broad daylight. It's a disgrace to the people of Tianhai. I heard this person's name is Yifeng. He was just released 2 days ago, but I didn't expect him to do such a heinous thing again after only 2 days. A leopard can't change its spots. Brother, I didn't expect such a big thing to happen. Tell me about it in detail. I've heard about this too. This guy named Yifeng is apparently a truant at Tianhai University, and supposedly he used to be a simp. Oh my God, could it be that she got dumped and suffered a mental breakdown? A young extra exclaimed. Now that you mention it, it's not impossible. Forget it, I'm not going to eat this melon anymore. I heard there are mentally ill people who like to poop in their pants and then throw their poop at people. Damn, that's disgusting. One of the extras quickly backed away. Upon hearing this, Yifeng's pale face instantly darkened. Liu Ruyan, who was standing to the side, pulled He Chunkyu back a few steps and said in a soft voice, Husband, let's go further away. I don't want to be too close to this good-for-nothing. Ding detected that the host has been humiliated by a gold digger again. New mission generated. As a super rich man, how can you be humiliated by the same gold digger again and again? Please drive your luxury car, Lamborghini Veneno, to slap the gold digger in the face, make her regret it, and let everyone see the host's true strength. Mission reward, Thompson Riviera Mansion King. Thompson Riviera. Yifeng was startled, and even his breathing became rapid. Yifeng knew a little about Thompson Riviera, a famous villa area in Tianhai, where any villa starts at tens of millions, and this king of villas would cost at least $1 billion. I'm not a piece of trash, Yifeng shouted, lying prone. Not trash, ha ha ha. Help everyone, this person actually says he's not trash. The person who was laughing and interacting with fans during the previous live stream. Ghost Fairy Sister, I'm dying of laughter. A criminal actually says he's not a loser, heh. Brother Sun told him to go home. I agree with the person upstairs, once a criminal, always a criminal. Angry JPG. Planetary administration. This kind of person should be thrown into a mental hospital to avoid harming others. User 23,568,962,874. What do you guys think? I'm watching it lying down. I like abstract concepts. I stand upside down, what about you? I don't like you, do you poop upside down? Amazing. Thumbs up JPG. Yifeng, in your current state, what are you if not a piece of trash? Standing at a distance, He Chunkyu looked at Yifeng with disdain, a mocking smile on his lips. He Chunkyu crossed his arms, his eyes revealing an arrogant and condescending air. You wore this outfit 9 days ago and you're still wearing it now. If you really can't afford it, kneel down and kowtow 3 times, bark like a dog a few times, and shout, Yifeng is a complete and utter piece of trash, 10 times in front of everyone, and I'll give you 2.5 million RMB. How about it? He Chunkyu continued to mock, his voice echoing throughout the entire square. Upon seeing this, the comments section of the live stream exploded. Ghost Fairy Sister, holy crap, are you playing this high? I'll take this incredible windfall. Host, give me your location. I'm coming right now. Ecstatic JPG. How beautiful. Bro, they're not giving it to you. Why are you so excited? Picking nose JPG. I don't want to try anymore. Why didn't I get this opportunity? Wah. Crying emoji. Hey, streamer, why don't you give it a try? If you're really not short of money, you can do it for the brothers, and we'll split the profits 70-30. A wise netizen commented, Bro, your calculation is practically blatantly wrong with the streamer. Streamer, don't listen to him, just do the bidding for me. I'll split it 60-40, you take 40%. Buddha doesn't save the poor. Streamer, don't listen to them, you kowtow for me, then I'll do 3 and you do 7. Send a gift, I only have 10%. Send another gift, I only need 50,000. His only concern was the gift. I only want 250, currency unspecified. You can decide what to do with it. Delete him, you're awesome, bro, I'm totally impressed. Clasped hands in a JPG. I'm impressed, clasped hands in a fist. All eyes are on the future. 3 photos of people clasping their hands in a gesture of respect. No, don't kowtow. A man's knees are worth gold. I can't stand seeing others get rich. No, bro, are you serious? Young master, can I join this activity? Passers-by also joined in the fun. So, Yifeng, what's your choice? Do you want to kneel down and withdraw the cash on the spot? He Chunkyu looked at Yifeng mockingly. Pa, Yifeng spat on the ground, looking at He Chunkyu with satisfaction and anger. Huff, huff, Yifeng's breathing became disordered. He Chunkyu, I Yifeng have plenty of money. I don't care about your measly little bit of cash. Yifeng roared through gritted teeth. Oh, really? He Chunkyu looked incredulous. Enough, Yifeng. With the few stinking coins in your pocket, you can't even afford instant noodles. What are you pretending for, thinking you're some kind of crooked-mouthed dragon king? Liu Ruyan said with a face full of disdain. Liu Ruyan, do you dare to make a bet with me? Yifeng stood up angrily. What are we betting on? Seeing that Liu Ruyan had taken the bait, Yifeng felt a surge of secret joy, but his face remained unchanged. If I really had money, you'd take off your clothes and run 10 laps around the crowded square. Do you dare? What if you lose? If I lose, you can do whatever you want with me, Yifeng said fearlessly. Liu Ruyan nodded, and to Yifeng's surprise, she cunningly reversed her stance, saying, I won't gamble. Yifeng almost spat out a mouthful of blood. All right, Yifeng, if you really want to prove it, then hurry up and don't waste our time, He Chunkyu said arrogantly. Yifeng nodded and said, word by word, Okay, you wait here, I'll prove it to you. I hope someone doesn't run away in defeat. He Chunkyu looked at Yifeng with his arms crossed. Don't worry, I won't run away, Yifeng promised with a resolute expression. A few minutes later, Yifeng made a dazzling entrance with a dark expression, driving a deflated Lamborghini Veneno. As soon as Yifeng rolled down the car window, Liu Ruyan preemptively questioned, Yifeng, I remember you haven't taken a driving test, have you? Upon hearing this, Yifeng suddenly felt a chill run down his spine. Yifeng, you don't need to deny it. You know I've investigated you. You never even took the driving test. I have plenty of evidence. He Chunkyu revealed a smug smile. Damn it, we've fallen for their trap. Yifeng felt a chill run down his spine. Ruyan, call the police and tell them that Yifeng somehow got his hands on a Lamborghini Veneno and is driving it without a license. Liu Ruyan nodded, took out her phone and prepared to call the police. Seeing this, Yifeng panicked and stepped on the gas. The poisoned car sped forward and overturned into the green belt next to him. Fortunately, no one was injured. Quick help, save them, shouted a bystander. P.S. Please encourage me to update more frequently and support me out there. A letter 1D17. Chapter 97. A family should be complete. Yifeng, you've only been out for 3 days, and you've already gotten a luxury car. You have nothing to say about this now, do you? The enforcement captain said sternly to Yifeng. Upon hearing this, Yifeng became agitated. He struggled violently, barking loudly, Let me go! Let me go! I haven't broken the law. My money is all legal. You have no right to arrest me. I'm going to report you. You're colluding with that guy surnamed He. I'll definitely report you. Yifeng roared hoarsely, his eyes filled with rage. The enforcement captain looked at Yifeng calmly, a hint of disappointment in his eyes. We'll investigate whether he's broken the law. Take him away. At the captain's command, 2 officers immediately sprang into action. They grabbed Yifeng's arms and escorted him to the patrol car parked nearby. Yifeng struggled desperately, but his resistance was insignificant in the face of 2 strong law enforcement officers. In the end, Yifeng was forced into the back seat of the law enforcement vehicle, much to his dismay. After the car door closed, the law enforcement vehicle quickly started moving. Tilde. And so Yifeng, who had only been released for 3 days, went back in. Beep, the people arranged by the host have subdued Yi Feng, the chosen one of destiny, resulting in Yi Feng's arrest. Yi Feng's luck value has been reduced by 2,000, and the host has gained 20,000 villain points. Ding, Yi Feng, the chosen one of destiny, has been exposed for driving without a license, causing his reputation to plummet. Public goodwill towards Yi Feng has decreased, reducing his luck value by 5,000. The host has gained 50,000 villain points. Ding, the chosen one of destiny, Yi Feng, has been tricked by the host and is back in jail. His mentality is shattered, and he is burning with rage. Yi Feng's luck value has decreased by 7,000, and the host has gained 70,000 villain points. Yi Feng's arrest resulted in He Chunkyu gaining 140,000 villain points, bringing his total to 220,000, in addition to the previous 80,000. System, give me 2 gold-level lottery draws. Having just obtained his villain points, He Chunkyu immediately chose to draw a lottery. Deducting 200,000 villain points from the host, lottery initiated. Ding, congratulations, host, you have won a silver-level reward. 3 character data inquiry cards. Wow, congratulations, host. You have drawn a golden legendary item and obtained a real-time holographic location map. Character data lookup card. Allows you to view all data and background information of all beings in this world. A real-time holographic positioning map can locate any creature in this world that the host recognizes in real time and can be used for real-time holographic monitoring. Damn, no wonder it's a golden legend, it's so awesome. He Chunkyu was overjoyed. With the real-time holographic positioning map, Yi Feng has nowhere to hide. Even if Yi Feng manages to escape from prison, he can know Yi Feng's movements at any time and set traps accordingly. After Yi Feng was taken away, the crowd of passers-by and extras gradually dispersed, while He Chunkyu took Liu Ruyan to sell some of the latest trendy lingerie. During the trip, the two also encountered Liu Ruyan's roommates Lu Kaianqian and Sun Loyu. After exchanging a few words, they parted ways. Young Master He, this is the card Yi Feng left behind. Taking advantage of Liu Ruyan's distraction while she was trying on clothes, saleswoman Li Jai quickly approached He Chunkyu and handed him Yi Feng's card with both hands. He Chunkyu didn't reach out to take it. He glanced at the bank card in the saleswoman's hand and said calmly, "No need to give it to me. Just take this card directly to the Law Enforcement Bureau and say that a man named Yi Feng left it in the store." "Yes, Mr. He," saleswoman Li Jai replied respectfully. Following He Chunkyu's instructions, Li Jai put away Yi Feng's card and waited to deliver it to the Law Enforcement Bureau after get off work according to procedure. The next day, the news that a student named Yi Feng from Tianhai University had defrauded 100 million yuan in 2.5 days went viral, shocking the entire country of Kyushu. Yi Feng's sister, Yi Wanning, was also arrested by the Tianhai Law Enforcement Bureau for lending her card to Yi Feng. Netizens were in an uproar. A female fan of BL, Boys Love, refusing to pay. Holy crap. Scamming 100 million in 2.5 days, this guy is ruthless. Tiania Huank, are scams really this rampant now? They managed to swindle over 100 million yuan in just 2.5 days. Reading is not possible without payment. There isn't 100 million, right? I remember the amount frozen in this kid's card was only about 70 million. A nearby repairman at Reading Without Payment commented, "He doesn't have that much cash, but he bought a lot of luxury goods these past 2 days, including a Lamborghini Veneno worth tens of millions," saying 100 million is already a conservative estimate. At Reading Without Payment, it's one thing to commit fraud, but this guy even drives a luxury car to show off. If we don't arrest him, who should we arrest? At Anmixiu from Tianxianhao Group at Zugyaba Chihao, it seems that Yi Feng drove to his ex-girlfriend and a rich second generation to show off, trying to imitate the face-slapping plot in the novel, but he didn't expect that they would directly call the police. At Tianxianhao Group Anmixiu, holy crap, is Yi Feng really that arrogant? He just broke up with his girlfriend and he's already showing off his wealth in front of her, as if he's afraid she won't suspect that his money came from dubious sources. Anmixiu from Tianxianhao Group at Bailing, who knows? Waving Hand JPG, Lucifer of the Shadow Empire. You guys think this kid made so much money in just over 2 days? I'm not going to beat around the bush today, who knows? They say it's a scam, but I feel the truth is probably not that simple. Snowstorm Tribulation. This guy isn't bound to a super rich system like in novels, is he? Wise little look, JPG. Destiny will ultimately lead to defeat at Snowy Calamity. This is reality. How could there be such a thing as a system? You're overthinking it. Ghost fairy sister he minglin at snowy calamity. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. There can't be a system in the real world. There must be a huge fraud ring behind Yifeng. Definitely JPG. Looking at the various comments online, Chunkiu was startled when he saw the comment about snow calamity. This netizen named Snowy Calamity actually guessed the truth of the matter. System, is this snow calamity person normal? Chunkiu asked, his mind unsettled. 10 seconds later, ding, host, that person is just a novelist. It's normal for their imagination to run wild. Upon hearing the system's explanation, Chunkiu immediately breathed a sigh of relief. Thank goodness it wasn't true. It was a false alarm. Ding, Yifeng, the chosen one of destiny, refuses to confess and is locked in the interrogation room to reflect alone. He is shivering with cold, extremely angry but helpless. Yifeng's luck value has decreased by 999, and the host has gained 9990 villain points. Ding, Yifeng's younger sister, Yuan Ning, has been arrested. Yifeng is furious and remorseful. In his anger, he berates the Law Enforcement Bureau and is rewarded with 3 days of fasting. In his anger, Yifeng almost chokes on his saliva while drinking water. Yifeng's luck value has decreased by 5,000, and the host has gained 50,000 villain points. Ding, Yifeng, the chosen one, is being criticized by his younger sister, Yuan Ning. He feels terrible and heartbroken. Yifeng's luck value has decreased by 2,000, and the host has gained 20,000 villain points. Ding, Yifeng, the chosen one of destiny, is being berated and scolded by his younger sister, Yuan Ning. He is heartbroken and feels endless sorrow for his sister's misunderstanding. Yifeng's luck value decreases by 1,000, and the host gains 10,000 villain points. Ding, Yifeng's elderly father, Yilusu, arrives in Tianhai and berates Yifeng for his filial impiety. In his extreme anger, he utters the harsh words of severing their father-son relationship. Yifeng is stunned, deeply pained by his father's words, and his mental state crumbles. Yifeng's luck value drops by 8,000, and the host gains 80,000 villain points. Ding, Yifeng, the chosen one of destiny, is stubborn and hasn't confessed anything. He has been sentenced to 99 years in prison and has completely lost his freedom. Yifeng's luck value has plummeted by 20,000, and the host has gained 200,000 villain points. Ding, Yifeng's father Yilusu has been exposed for trafficking women. He was caught red-handed by the Tianhai Law Enforcement Bureau and temporarily imprisoned in the same jail as Yifeng. The whole family is together. Yifeng is dumbfounded. Yifeng's luck value has decreased by 3,000. He is inexplicably upset. The host has gained 30,000 villain points. Over the course of 7 days, Yifeng's luck value plummeted to a total of 65,999, while Chunkyu's villain value rose to 67,999. Chapter 98, the second host of the Super Tycoon system. Ding, no recent travel history detected for the host. New task generated. As a super-rich person, how can you degenerate? Please go to the crowded hotel for a meal to improve your daily diet. Task reward, 70% of Tianqianhao Media's shares. Ding, 3 days have passed, and the host has still not taken any action. New task generated. As a super-rich person, how can you be defeated by the small predicament before you? Please go to the crowd square to spend money and enjoy yourself. Task reward, a large ocean view villa. Task failed, system unbinding. Upon hearing the penalty for failure, Yifeng flew into a rage. I'll do your damn mission. What kind of damn garbage system is this? If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be sentenced to 99 years. Get out of here, I'm not putting up with this anymore. Yifeng clenched his fist and slammed it against the wall to vent his dissatisfaction. He's sentenced to 99 years in prison. He's 20 years old now. He'll be stuck there until he dies. What kind of god-rich system does he need? Ding, insulting the system by a host has been detected. System countermeasure activated, electroshock therapy. Sizzle, sizzle, tilde. Yifeng collapsed to the ground instantly, foaming at the mouth, his body convulsing and trembling, but he couldn't make a sound. 3 days later, beep, multiple task failures detected by the junk host, meeting the system's unbinding conditions. The Super Tycoon system is initiating unbinding. System unbinding progress 20%. 38%, 59%, 86%, 100% unbinding successful. The Super Tycoon system has been successfully unbound. In an instant, the Super Tycoon system left Yifeng's body, carrying with it a large amount of Yifeng's life force. The next second, A powerful force came from all directions to surround and attack. Damn world consciousness! The Super Tycoon system cursed angrily. It consumed a huge amount of system energy, forcibly broke through a path to survival, and fled in a sorry state. Damn world consciousness, you made me lose so much of my original energy. Just wait, I'll drain you dry. The Super Tycoon system cursed as it left Tianhai. Although the Super Rich system opened a way out, it also caused a crack to appear in his savings vault, and 1/5 of the original energy he had accumulated over many years mysteriously disappeared. Ding, the Super Tycoon system has changed hosts and encountered a mysterious backlash, causing its luck and energy to plummet. That's it. Chunkyu's previously playful face vanished instantly. That's all, Chen Zhou repeated coldly, without blushing or skipping a beat. At the same time, the Super Tycoon system arrived in Luo City in an instant and detected a suitable host. Ding, Super Tycoon system generated. Would you like to bind to it? Tie me up, I'll tie you up, hurry up and tie me up, Lin Tian shouted excitedly. Ha ha ha, Liu Qingqing, he nan, just wait. Lin Tian will repay the humiliation you've caused me 100-fold. Lin Tian secretly vowed. This afternoon, Lin Tian thought it was his girlfriend Liu Qingqing's birthday, so he left work early to surprise her. As a result, Liu Qingqing gave him a big surprise. When Lin Tian opened the door, he saw Liu Qingqing in the living room with a strange man. Seeing this, Lin Qi angrily stepped forward to argue, but was brutally beaten by the man who called himself Henan. Lin Tian, since you've seen it all, then this ends here. Get out! These words deeply stung Lin Tian. For 3 years, Lin Tian had cherished and protected this woman, a woman he couldn't bear to touch, and she actually went with a rich second generation for money. Ding, Super Tycoon system successfully bound. First mission activated. As a super rich man, how can you be so dejected because of a gold-digging woman's betrayal? Please open the yellow robe delivery platform, randomly complete 3 deliveries, and get 3 5-star reviews. Mission reward, Bugatti Veyron X1. Mission failed, JJ shortened by 1 centimeter. Task time limit, 6 hours. Learning from Yifeng's experience, the Super Tycoon system specifically added a penalty for mission failure and a mission time limit. Every world before went smoothly, and the Super Rich system never thought about mission failure. But just now, Yifeng not only had a negative attitude towards missions, but was also so brain dead that he was killed by a native NPC. This is a disgrace to his Super Rich system. After reflection and summarization, the Super Tycoon system decided to add penalties for mission failure and mission time limits to all future hosts in order to urge them to complete missions seriously and to the best of their ability. Upon hearing the punishment details of the system mission, Lin Tian instinctively covered his penis. It wasn't big to begin with, and if the mission failed, it would be disastrous. For the sake of his lifelong happiness, Lin Tian quickly took out his phone, whose screen had 2 large cracks, and opened the yellow robe donned order-taking platform. He found that the orders had been automatically accepted, with the time intervals being almost always around an hour and a half. With ample time and the orders not being too far apart, it can definitely be completed easily within 6 hours. After getting himself ready, Lin Tian put on his helmet and walked to the door. Damn it, who the hell is so heartless as to steal a 6-handed donkey? Lin Tian shouted in anguish. Without the little donkey, the task becomes instantly more difficult. However, this did not stump Lin Tian. Even without the donkey, he still had his own 2 feet. If he ran, he could still complete the task within the allotted time. Without further ado, Lin Tian tightened his shoelaces and got into a starting position. Ding, the system suggests the host take a taxi. Taxi? Oh right, how could I forget that? As the owner of the godly tycoon system, my future is limitless. Why would I care about a little taxi fare? Lin Tian patted his helmet. Lin Tian shook his head with a wry smile. Being poor for so long has made my mindset fixed. Thanks, system, Lin Tian thought to himself, then opened the ride-hailing app. Using a ride-hailing service to deliver food, I'm afraid only I, Lin Tian, would dare to do that. Lin Tian thought to himself with secret delight. On the other hand, the moment the Super Tycoon system bound itself to Lin Tian, the second-generation host of this world, Chunkyu received a reminder from the villain of destiny. Ding, the Super Tycoon system has been bound to a new host. Information on the second-generation host of the Super Tycoon system has been updated. Name, Lin Tian, second-generation host of the Super Tycoon system. Gender, male. Age, 25. Overall combat strength, 6.2, 6 for a normal person, 10 for the human limit. Charisma, 4.4, 5 for normal people, 10 is the human limit. Affiliation, the most ordinary employee on the outside platform, now adorned in yellow robes. Luck value, 250,000 false. Luck level, red false. Coordinates, Los Angels. Balance, 250. Los Angels, He Chunkyu murmured softly. He Chunkyu's eyes flickered, as if he was thinking about something. Los Angels is 800 miles from Tianhai, and it takes some time to get there. However, He Chunkyu was not in a hurry. Lin Tian was in the open while he was in the shadows, so there was no need to rush to make a move. Moreover, Lin Tian has no personal grudges against him. The only conflict is that Lin Tian possesses the godly rich system, which will definitely lead to them becoming adversaries in the future. It was inevitable that Lin Tian would be dealt with, but He Chunkyu decided to give Lin Tian a few days to settle his personal grudges. He Chunkyu is restless and unable to eat or sleep until he suppresses Lin Tian and completely eliminates the hidden dangers of the super tycoon system. Thinking of this, He Chunkyu picked up his phone and sent a message to his cousin He Nan, who was far away in Liucheng. Cousin, be careful of a person named Lin Tian. After sending the message, He Chunkyu casually tossed his phone aside and walked towards the bathroom where Liu Ruyan was. P.S. Please encourage me to update more frequently and support me out there. Gujarati, Uhulenus, letter A302. Chapter 99, Lin Tian's Shining Moment. Beep detected that Lin Tian, the chosen one of destiny, has acquired a 30% stake in the Los Angels City Crowd Hotel and is currently showing off his power there. What? He Chunkyu nearly collapsed in shock. My house was burgled. He Chunkyu's face instantly darkened. Ding, that's right, host. Lin Tian has completed the system task issued by the Super Tycoon system and acquired a 30% stake in the Los Angels branch of the He family's Shan Ren High Hotel. Damn it, He Chunkyu couldn't help but blurt out a curse. Honey, what happened? Liu Ruyan turned her head and asked softly. He Chunkyu ignored her, got out of bed, walked quickly to the study, turned on the computer, and checked the shareholding structure of Liucheng Renhai. As Chunkyu predicted, 30% of the shares of the Liucheng Renhai Hotel have indeed been transferred to Lin Tian's name. Fine, Lin Tian, I haven't even made a move yet, and you're already meddling in my business. A cold glint flashed in He Chunkyu's eyes. He Chunkyu originally intended to give Lin Tian a few days to prove himself, but he never expected that Lin Tian would steal from his hometown and rob him of his money. Unforgivable. He Chunkyu took a deep breath to calm himself down, then picked up his phone and dialed his father's number. Son, is your company having some problems? He Han Sheng's concerned voice came through the phone as it connected. Dad, no, He Chunkyu quickly explained. When I was checking the company information just now, I saw that the equity of our family's hotel in Liucheng seems to have changed. I was planning to go and see what happened, and I wanted to let you know. I see, He Han Sheng said calmly after a moment of silence. Since you want to practice, then I'll leave this matter to you. I'll have my secretary compile the equity information and related details for the hotel in Los Angels and send them to you in a bit. Get a clear understanding of the situation before making a decision. Don't worry, Dad, I'll handle it, He Chunkyu assured him solemnly. Meanwhile, inside the Los Angels City Crowd Hotel, the atmosphere was unusually tense. He Nan stared wide-eyed in disbelief at the share transfer agreement Lin Tian handed him, as if he had seen something utterly absurd. His lips trembled slightly and his voice became hoarse, filled with shock. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. How could Renhai's shares be transferred to an unrelated outsider? I don't believe it. Seeing He Nan's excited reaction, Lin Tian's lips curled up slightly, revealing a smug smile. It's clearly written in black and white, and there's even an official seal on it. I, Lin Tian, am now one of the shareholders of this hotel. Lin Tian shrugged, feigning helplessness, but inwardly he was overjoyed. He secretly rejoiced. As expected of the super-rich system, it can even get his hands on a huge number of shares. No, this is impossible. This agreement must be fake, He Nan roared hysterically. He Nan was also a member of the He family. Although he didn't know as much about the He family's businesses as his cousin He Chunkyu, he was still familiar with their main businesses, such as the People Mountain People Sea business. All the shares of Shan Ren High are in the hands of the He family. There has never been any outsider who has obtained any shares of Shan Ren High. That's why He Nan was so shocked when he saw Lin Tian's share transfer agreement. Lin Tian sneered, his face full of helplessness, and said, He Nan, the agreement clearly states that I, Lin Tian, own 30% of the shares of Ren Shan Ren Hai. If you don't believe me, you can check the company's equity change records. Lin Tian looked radiantly at He Nan, whose expression had changed drastically, and Liu Qingqing, who looked like she had seen a ghost and felt incredibly relieved. Liu Qingqing, you used to ignore me, but today I'll make you regret it. Look at this spoiled brat you found. He's really never seen the world. He's scared like this by just being a shareholder. Tusk. Lin Tian felt a surge of satisfaction. The general manager looked at Lin Tian with a puzzled expression. Lin Tian's share transfer agreement was indeed not forged, but Lin Tian's behavior was very abnormal, as if he did not know that He Nan was also a member of the He family. Coming to the He family's hotel to make things difficult for them. Are you sure you haven't lost your mind? Manager Guan blacklist these two people. Ren Shan Ren Hai will never serve these two guests again. Lin Tian emphasized the word guests. Mr. Lin, this is against the rules. Manager Guan refused with a stern expression. What's wrong with the rules? I'm a shareholder of this hotel. These two people make me uncomfortable, so I won't do business with them, understand? Lin Chi commanded imposingly. How dare a mere general manager speak to me like that? This is outrageous. Lin Tian's eyes sharpened. He stared at Manager Guan and said in a deep voice, Manager Guan, you should know your place. If you want to continue working here, do as I say. Manager Guan was furious when he heard that Lin Tian dared to threaten him. Manager Guan glared back directly. Lin Tian, it's true that you own shares in Ren Shan Ren Hai, but Ren Shan Ren Hai is a business of the He family, and I am the manager appointed by the He family. You have no right to tell me what to do. Understand? Lin Tian's face immediately turned ashen, and he thought to himself, the He family's business. He Nan. Could this hotel actually belong to the He Nan family? Damn it! Lin was so angry that his face twisted, and he couldn't help but curse under his breath. At first, he thought it was just a case of sharing the same surname, but he never expected that He Nan was also a member of the He family. Just then, Liu Qingqing seized the opportunity to mock him, saying, Lin Tian, you're nothing special. A sea of shareholders. With your mere 30% stake, you dare to show off your limited skills in front of Brother Nan. Do you believe Brother Nan can kick you out with a single word? At this moment, Liu Qingqing regained her arrogant confidence. She originally thought Lin Tian would be some great person, but she never expected him to be just an arrogant clown who didn't know his own limitations. With only 30% of the shares, she dares to show off in front of her boyfriend. What a brainless clown. Hearing Liu Qingqing's harsh words, Lin Tian snorted coldly. HMPH. Leaving behind a strange, harsh remark, Liu Qingqing, you're lucky this time. Next time you won't be so fortunate. She slunk away, looking dejected. Once Lin Tian's figure disappeared into the crowd, Manager Guan approached He Nan. Young Master He, regarding Lin Tian. He Nan waved his hand and replied seriously. Manager Guan, don't worry. I'll ask my elders at home about this when I get back. Then I'll have to trouble you, young Master He. He Nan nodded and led Liu Qingqing away from the crowd. Beep detected that the host has been harassed by his gold-digging ex-girlfriend again. New task generated. New daily task. As a super-rich person, how can you be humiliated in the same place again? Please open the yellow robe platform, send out 10 orders, and get at least 10 5-star reviews. Task reward. Riverside Grand Villa, King of Buildings, X1. Task completed in 1 day. Mission failed, JJ shortened by 2 centimeters. Upon hearing about the new system task, Lin Tian's bad mood instantly vanished. He may have been careless and didn't see things clearly about the Sea of People incident, but he is a future tycoon. He owns 30% of the Sea of People hotel, but this is just the beginning. Meanwhile, He Chunkyu arrived in Los Angeles by private jet. Chapter 106 star rating. Liuishui Villa, another villa area. But why is it the devilishly spicy milk tea? Looking at the order information displayed on his phone screen, Lin Tian frowned, his face full of doubt. Lin Tian carefully checked the order's remarks section, which clearly stated, make sure it's spicy, the spicier the better. Could it be a new product? Lin Tian wondered to himself, his gaze falling on the cup of milk tea he was holding. Lin Tian shook his head helplessly and sighed. People these days are getting more and more abstract. They even want to add super spicy to their milk tea. Lin Tian simply couldn't understand this peculiar taste preference. However, despite the complaints, work still had to go on. This is his last order of the day. Once it's finished, he can leave work early and rest. There's something very important waiting for him tomorrow. looking at houses. The king of Riverside Villas, it's truly something to look forward to, Lin Tian murmured to himself, a hint of excitement and anticipation in his eyes. I never dared to dream of such a life before, but it has actually come true. With such anticipation, Lin Tian rode his Bugatti Veyron toward the Luoshui Villa district. Throughout the journey, Lin Tian couldn't help but wonder what kind of person this customer who ordered the devilishly spicy milk tea was. Perhaps he's seeking thrills, or perhaps he's playing pranks on his friends, but none of that matters to him. What he needs to do is complete the system's tasks and then live the enviable life of a super-rich man. Soon, Lin Tian successfully led the way to building number 6 of Luoshui Bieu. After verifying that the address and building number were correct, Lin Tian pressed the doorbell in a professional manner. 5 minutes later, a handsome man wearing a bathrobe came out. "Hello, your devilishly spicy milk tea." Lin Tian smiled and handed over the milk tea. He Chunkyu nodded and calmly said, "You should drink it." "What?" Lin Tian stared in shock at the spoiled young master. You're letting me drink?" Lin Tian pointed at himself in astonishment. He Chunkyu shrugged. "Of course it's for you. You think I'd order it for you?" Before Lin Tian could answer, He Chunkyu continued. "However, it's fine if you don't want to drink it. It's just a bad review. It won't cost you much money." He Chunkyu revealed a disdainful smile, seemingly unconcerned about Lin Tian's choice. The next moment, He Chunkyu changed the subject and continued to tempt. "Of course, I won't treat you unfairly. As long as you drink it, I'll reward you with 250 yuan. How about it?" His eyes revealed a provocation and smugness, as if he was waiting for Lin Tian's response. After speaking, He Chunkyu looked at Lin Tian as if watching a play, as if the matter was already a sure thing and Lin Tian would definitely do as he asked. He Chunkyu's lips curled up slightly, a mocking smile on his face. Lin clenched his fists in anger but couldn't vent his frustration. At this moment, Lin Tian finally understood that the negative review was not for the merchant, but was prepared for him. "Why am I so unlucky today? To run into such a weird rich kid, damn it." Lin Tian was filled with anger and couldn't help but curse inwardly. But Lin Tian dared not refuse, because it was a system task, and he could not bear the punishment for failing the task. After a moment of silence, Lin Tian finally lowered his head and said, "Okay, I'll drink it, but you have to promise me a 5-star review." He Chunkyu nodded and agreed, I'll think about it. Hearing that the other party was willing to agree, Lin Tian no longer hesitated. He tore open the packaging, took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and gulped it down in one go. Lin Tianla gasped for breath. I've already finished it 5 stars. Give me." Lin Tian, his eyes watering from the spiciness, pleaded breathlessly. He Chunkyu took out his phone and promptly tipped Lin Tian 250 yuan. "Here's yours for 250. I'll give you a good review later." He Chunkyu nodded with a smile. "I hope you keep your promise." Lin Tian's eyes welled up with tears from the spiciness. "This devil is crazy. The milk tea is too spicy, he just can't take it." He Chunkyu did not answer, turned around and went back to the villa, leaving Lin Tian standing in the moonlight, tears streaming down his face. Ding, the host has forced Lin Tian, the chosen one of destiny, to bow down and agree to the host's unreasonable request. This has dealt a heavy blow to Lin Tian's mentality after binding with the Super Tycoon system. Lin Tian's luck value has decreased by 2,000, and the host has gained 20,000 villain points. Ding, Lin Tian, the chosen one of destiny, is furious at the extremely spicy milk tea specially prepared by the host. He is enraged and wants to take revenge on the host, but dares not. His temper is about to explode. Lin Tian's luck value is reduced by 1,000, and the host gains 10,000 villain points. Ding, the chosen one of destiny, Lin Tian, has received a huge sum of 250 yuan from the host. Lin Tian feels endless humiliation, and his mentality explodes. Lin Tian's luck value has decreased by 3,000, and the host has gained 30,000 villain points. Back in the living room, He Chunkyu delivered a 6-star review of several hundred words. Rating: 6-star review. The delivery driver was arrogant, but his service was excellent, and his appearance was indescribable. He's representative of the Lowe's Angels service industry. Ding, the host has received a 1-star review. Mission failed. No, upon hearing that the system mission had failed, Lin Tian, who was already seeing stars from the intense heat, let out a painful groan. Ding, the chosen one of destiny, Lin Tian, has failed his mission and is being punished by the Super Tycoon system. Lin Tian's world has collapsed, his mentality has crumbled, and his mental state has broken down. His luck value has plummeted by 20,000, and the host has gained 200,000 villain points. Ding, Lin Tian, the Chosen One, has failed his first mission. His hard-won confidence has vanished, his mentality has collapsed, and he is heartbroken. Lin Tian's luck value has been reduced by 2,000, and the host has gained 20,000 villain points. "Hey, don't shout like that so late at night," came the polite reprimand from next door. Lin Tian seemed not to hear, standing there blankly with a dazed look in his eyes. The Super Tycoon system sent out an energy probe, and the results showed that He Chunkyu's data was all normal, except that his combat strength was higher than that of ordinary people. What a useless piece of trash! You can even mess up a simple food delivery. The Super Tycoon system was furious at his incompetence. After being lost in thought for a long time, Lin Tian rallied himself and said to himself with relief, "Lin Tian, you have to pull yourself together and think about your family whom you have never met." Lin Tian wiped away his tears, suppressing his grief, and asked the Super Tycoon system, "System, will I be able to restore my original state if I successfully complete a mission?" Ding, host, as a super-rich individual, you cannot have any flaws. As long as you work hard to complete the missions, you will definitely be able to recover and regain your former glory. Ding, high host mission awareness detected. Morning mission activated. Morning mission, the early bird catches the worm. As a tycoon, how can you be defeated by such trivial matters? Please open the yellow robe platform to accept 3 orders and obtain 3 5-star reviews. Mission start time, 6:00 a.m. tomorrow. Task reward, 2,500,000 RMB. Task time limit, 4 hours. Task penalty, 3 days of diarrhea. Yes, upon learning that he could grow back, Lin Tian immediately became excited again. P.S. I've reached 100 chapters. Just wanted to commemorate it, hee. Japanese letter, black circle black, letter FF89 wow tilde. Please encourage me to update more frequently and support me out there. Omega equals. Chapter 101, taking advantage of the victory and launching an ambush. The next morning, the first thing He Chunkyu did upon waking up was to check Lin Tian's movements. Sure enough, Lin Tian was delivering takeout. Ahu, arrange for a few people to find this guy in the photo and deflate his tires. He Chunkyu sent a photo of Lin Tian, along with some of Lin Tian's relevant identification information, then lay back down for a nap. "Yes, young master," Ahu replied, then led a few of his men to begin their operation. An hour later, Ahu arrived with his professional team and found Lin Tian. At this moment, Lin Tian was picking up his food. His car was parked on the roadside not far away. Ahu and his men were openly standing outside the restaurant, observing Lin Tian's every move. Liu the younger brother, looked around and whispered to Ahu, "Brother Hu, give the order. What should we do?" "Wait a minute," Zhang San and Li Si go over and deliberately bump into Lin Tian, then deliberately argue with him to attract the attention of pedestrians. Wang Wu and Yan Qi go over and quickly puncture the tires. Ahu quickly assigned the tasks. The group nodded and dispersed skillfully. Wang De stood by the roadside smoking. Liu went into a nearby shop to buy drinks, and Zhang San and Li Si found a spot with a good view to chat. Wang Wu and Yan Qi strolled leisurely over to Lin Tian's Bugatti Veyron, playing on their phones and waiting for their chance. "Boss, can you hurry up? I've been waiting for ages," Lin Tian urged impatiently. The owner smiled and nodded in agreement. "Okay, I'll make yours next time, and I guarantee it will be ready within 10 minutes. After urging his boss, Lin Tian picked up his phone and started browsing the news. The top trending topic about Yi Feng was still up. Trending topic 3, shocking. A student at Tianhai University and his entire family are criminals. Trending topic 5, shocking. A man framed his own sister and landed her in jail. Trending topic number 7, a college student from Tianjin University actually. Yi Feng, what an idiot. He dares to be so high profile in his fraudulent activities. Who else should we arrest if not him?" Lin Tian shook his head with a wry smile. Lin Tian had never heard of such an arrogant swindler before. He had defrauded 100 million yuan in 3 days and drove a luxury car worth tens of millions of yuan. It would be unreasonable not to arrest him. It's such a pity about that young girl. If I were Yi Feng, I would never let my sister put herself in danger, Lin Tian said with a wry smile. Lin Tian was an orphan from a young age and grew up in an orphanage, never experiencing family affection. "Handsome, your braised pork knuckle rice is ready." The owner smiled and handed over the packaged braised pork knuckle rice. Lin Tian put away his phone. took the food the owner had prepared, and turned to leave. This is the last delivery of the morning. I'll go back and take a nap after that, Lin Tian secretly planned. Lin Tian didn't really care about the rewards for the morning mission, but the penalty for failing the main mission was 3 days of diarrhea. Lin Tian had no desire to experience it. As Lin Tian was thinking, he walked out of the restaurant. Just as he stepped onto the sidewalk, a tall, muscular man deliberately bumped into Lin Tian's thin frame. Bang! Lin Tian, who was not paying attention, suddenly fell to the ground, and the pig's feet rice in his hand fell to the side. "Pa, you blind fool, you dare to bump into me," Zhang San cursed as he kicked Lin Tian's takeout food away. With a loud clang tilde. "Right in the trash can, great shot. Kid, you bumped into my brother. Tell me, how are you going to pay me back?" Li Si walked up to Lin Tian with a fierce expression. "You deliberately knocked me down and now you want me to pay. You're trying to scam me," Lin Tian shouted back defiantly. Upon hearing the sound, and drawn by the aura of reduced intelligence, the surrounding people all turned to look in the direction of Lin Tian and his 2 companions. "Trying to extort money? You were the one who bumped into my brother because you weren't looking where you were going, and you still have the nerve to frame us for it. Believe me, I'll teach you a lesson with my fists that are as big as sandbags," Li Si threatened, his eyes gleaming with malice. "That's right, you poor delivery guy. You've gotten my clothes all dirty. You better pay me back," Zhang San demanded angrily. "You 2 bastards. You clearly hit me on purpose, and now you want me to pay you? You're utterly shameless," Lin Chi retorted angrily, arguing with reason. "HMPH, enough nonsense. Hurry up and pay up, or you'll be sorry," Li Si said viciously. "I have no money, and you can forget about getting a single penny from me," Lin Tian said firmly. "No money? Then don't blame us for being impolite." With that, Li Si raised his fist to punch Lin Tian. "Wait!" Suddenly an old man stepped forward. Li Si stopped what he was doing, looked at the old man with a fierce expression, and said coldly with extreme impatience, "Old man, if you want to stand up for this kid, pay up. Otherwise, I'll beat you up too." As he spoke, Li Si clenched his powerful fist, the strong muscle lines conveying a sense of strength. When it came to taking money, the old man immediately shut up. Zhang San arrogantly surveyed the room and declared, "Everyone saw it. We brothers aren't being unreasonable. We just wanted some compensation for emotional distress from this kid. We only resorted to violence because he wouldn't give it to us. If you want to stand up for this kid, you can pay him compensation, just 100, it's not much. Otherwise, don't meddle," Li Si warned the crowd with a menacing glint in his eyes. "What you 2 brothers say makes sense. It's only right to pay compensation for hitting someone," Liu shouted loudly from the crowd. "This request is indeed not unreasonable. I support compensation." Ah Hu also stood up to agree. "Yes, if you hit someone, you have to pay compensation." Some passers-by, who were unaware of the situation, also chimed in. You've gone too far." Lin Tian straightened his back angrily. "Oh, kid, looks like you're trying to renege on your debt." Zhang San walked up to Lin Tian with a fierce expression. "I didn't hit you at all, I won't pay for it," Lin Tian shouted calmly. Boom! Zhang San threw a punch without hesitation. Then came the second punch, the third punch. Lin Tian covered his head with his hands, not knowing how to fight back. Zhang San controlled his strength very well, ensuring that he wouldn't seriously injure Lin Tian or cause internal injuries, while also ensuring that Lin Tian felt intense pain. Lin Tian crouched on the ground, covering his head, gritting his teeth and enduring Zhang San's punches and kicks without uttering a single scream. The people around watched the drama unfold with amusement. No one stepped forward to share the burden of the injury, and no one even thought to call the police. It wasn't until 6 minutes later that Zhang San slowly stopped, after seeing the hint in Wang De's eyes. Zhang San spat on Lin Tian's head, feigning anger. "Pa, you poor bastard, you can't even come up with 100 yuan. I'm out of luck this time, Pa." After saying that, Zhang San turned to everyone and said, "Disperse, everyone disperse, don't obstruct traffic." The crowd made way for the 2 burly men, and Zhang San and Li Si finished their work openly and legitimately. Ding, the host has dispatched his subordinates to ambush Lin Tian, the chosen one of destiny, brutally beating him and causing him to lose face in front of the world, harboring resentment and shattering his reputation. Lin Tian's destiny value has been reduced by 1,000, and the host has gained 10,000 villain points. Ding, the host's subordinate kicked Lin Tian's takeout into the trash can, seriously delaying Lin Tian's time. Lin Tian is resentful and his mentality is slightly fractured. Lin Tian's luck value is reduced by 2,000, and the host gains 20,000 villain points. After holding his head for a long time, and finding that the pain in his body had subsided, Lin Tian slowly stood up again. I went into the small restaurant and asked the owner to give me another serving of braised pork knuckle rice. The owner smiled and readily agreed. A few minutes later, the owner handed Lin Tian a freshly made bowl of braised pork trotters with rice. Lin Tian nodded in satisfaction as a sign of gratitude. When Lin Tian walked up to his Bugatti Veyron, he noticed that the car was significantly shorter. My car, Lin Tian quickly lay down to check. Apart from the flat tire, everything else was intact. Who is it? Lin Tian screamed inwardly. Ding, the host has sent his men to sabotage Lin Tian's only means of transportation, greatly hindering Lin Tian's mission. Lin Feng is furious and mentally broken. His anger is boundless. Lin Feng's luck value is 3,000, and the host has gained 30,000 villain points. Several system notification sounds rang out, and Chunkyi's villain value broke through 1 million for the first time, reaching an astonishing 1,039,990. Chapter 102, Congratulations, host, for winning the system mall key. Looking at the huge sum of over 1 million villain coins in his hand, Chunkyu excitedly shouted in his heart, System, give me a 10-draw golden lottery. Ding, 100,000 villain points deducted from the host. Ding, congratulations, host, you have won a regular reward, a roll of clear toilet paper. Ding, congratulations, host, you have won a silver-level reward, physique index +1. Ding, congratulations, host, you have won a regular reward, 3 ice silk pajamas. Ding, congratulations, host, you have drawn the golden legend, Super Tycoon System mission prediction. Ding, congratulations, host, you have won a silver-level reward, charm index +1. Ding, congratulations, host, you have won a common reward, a set of Phoebe Genin wood tea set. Ding, congratulations, host, you have won a silver-level reward, proficient hacker skill card X1, can only be used by the host. Ding, congratulations, host, you have won a gold-level reward. 1 proficient traditional medicine card, can only be used by the host. Ding, congratulations, host, you have won a silver-level reward. 1 prescription for a calming and nourishing medicine. Ding, congratulations, host, you have drawn a golden legendary item, System Mall Key X1. After the lottery ended, Chunkyu quickly checked the details of some of the prizes. Super Tycoon System Task Prediction. 100% accurate and synchronized updates of tasks issued by the Super Tycoon System. A calming and soothing medication. A drug used to treat emotional instability, hormonal imbalances, and mental disorders. Side effects. Long-term use may lead to increased rationality and a diminished focus on emotional matters. System Mall Key. A mysterious key that unlocks the System Mall. System Mall. Chunkyu stared blankly at the information about the System Mall Key, his mind reeling. A system store. Which good system hides a prize pool in its system store for the host to draw from? By the way, the full name of my system seems to be the Great Villain System of Destiny, which seems quite reasonable. Chunkyu was a little depressed, but he didn't ask any more questions. The system must have its reasons for doing this, and asking would be pointless. Chunkyu took a deep breath, trying to calm himself down. System, use the Proficient Hacking Technology card and the Skilled Traditional Medicine card. Beep, Proficient Hacker card, and Skilled Traditional Medical card successfully used. The next moment, many innate things inexplicably appeared in Chunkyu's mind, such as knowledge about computer networks and a vast amount of knowledge about traditional medicine, which were deeply engraved into Chunkyu's subconscious like innate instincts. System, view my personal panel. Host panel. Name, Chunkyu. Gender, male. Age, 21. Overall combat strength, 7.76 for a normal person, 10 for the human limit. Charisma, 9.8. 5 for a normal person, 10 is the human limit. Faction, Tianhai family. Villain value, 3,990. Skills, proficient in piano, proficient in racing, proficient in horseback riding, beginner in golf, because I don't really like it. Skilled in business, mediocre in stock trading, master-level martial arts skills, proficient in hacking, skilled in traditional medicine. Ifold. Good heavens, I've become a human succubus. Chunkyu swallowed hard. With that level of charm, wouldn't she be irresistible to both men and women when she goes out? No, I have to work hard and max out my combat skills, otherwise I'll always feel uneasy. Chunkyu silently declared his determination. Thinking of this, Chunkyu quickly opened the system store. Regular toilet paper, small pack, 10 villain points. Regular disposable chopsticks, 5 villain points. Regular disposable paper cup, 15 villain points. He continued scrolling down. Agility index, 1,000 villain value, normal human average is 5, the human limit is 10. 1 body mass index, 50,000 villain value, a normal human is generally 4 and the human limit is 10. Strength index, 30,000 villain value, a normal human's average is 5.5 with a human limit of 10. Reaction index, 30,004 for a normal human, 10 is the human limit. Charm index, 100,000 villain value, 5 for a normal person, 10 is the human limit. Grandmaster level boxing skills, 30,000 villain points. Master level red tassel spear skill, 100,000 villain points. Master level marksmanship, including all types of firearms, 500,000 villain points. God level driving skills, including all types of vehicles, 1 million villain points. Proficient modern medicine, including all categories, 700,000 villain points. Master level modern medicine, including all categories, 2 million villain points. God level modern medicine, including all categories, 10 million villain points. Planet destroyer weapon, 10 million villain values. Blue star destruction bomb, 10 million villain points. Ordinary stellar destruction bomb, 60 million villain values. As he read on, the absurdity grew, and Chunkyu withdrew from the system's marketplace. There was no way around it. It was too expensive and his heart couldn't handle it. Chunkyu took a deep breath, trying to calm himself down, and asked, "System, how much do those physical fitness index, agility index, reaction index, and strength index relate to overall combat power?" Ding, host, these are the physical indicators of an ordinary human. The overall combat strength is scientific data derived from a combination of these indicators. Is there any connection between the charm index and these things? Ding, host, there is some connection between charm and combat power. For example, under ideal conditions, people usually prefer the individual with good looks and high charm between two individuals of the same species. However, this isn't absolute. For example, some individuals are truly special. Chunkyu nodded and continued to ask, "System, can you check my various physical indicators?" Beep, the host's specific indices are as follows. Body mass index, BMI. 8 normal average person's BMI is 4 and the human limit is 10. Strength index, 7, the average human is 5.5 and the human limit is 10. Agility index, 6, 5 for the average person, 10 is the human limit. Reaction index, 5.5, normal average human is 4, human limit is 10. Impact resistance index, 6.2, the average person's index is 6, there is no limit, only death. Endurance index, 7, the average human is 5.5 and the human limit is 10. Charisma index, 9.8, the average person's charisma is 5 and the human limit is 10. Intelligence index, 8.9, the average person's intelligence index is 6 and the human limit is 10. Thinking index, 8.3, the average human is 5 and the human limit is 10. Fold. After reviewing the various indices listed by the system, Chunkyu gained a completely new understanding of human physical indices. The human limit is 10, without a doubt, at least in this world. Humanity's limits are already set, unless evolution or mutation occurs. Chunkyu didn't force anyone to evolve, since everyone was just an ordinary person, and there was no point in him evolving on his own. Ding, under the host's influence, the chosen one Lin Tian failed his mission and received the 3-day diarrhea punishment. His luck value was reduced by 2,000, and the host gained 20,000 villain points. Lin Tian, the chosen one, has 214,000 remaining luck points. A sudden system announcement interrupted Chunkyu's thoughts. Lin Tian's mission failed again, which is really good news. There are still over 200,000 luck points left. Looks like I need to give Lin Tian a hard time. A shadow crossed Chunkyu's eyes. He then gave Ahu a new order. Ahu, find more people, outsource it, and let the locals of Lo's Angels treat Lin Tian well. P.S. Please encourage me to update more frequently and support me out there. Omega equals. Chapter 103, Preparations Before the End. Ding, the thugs outsourced by the host have smashed the bedroom window of Lin Tian, the chosen one. Lin Tian is furious. Lin Tian's luck value has decreased by 100, and the host has gained 1,000 villain points. Beep, the thugs outsourced by the host smashed the car window of Lin Tian, the chosen one of destiny. Lin Tian was furious. Lin Tian's luck value decreased by 200, and the host gained 2,000 villain points. Ding, the thugs outsourced by the host have put laxatives in the Chosen One's water, making Lin Tian's already severe diarrhea even worse. Lin Tian's mentality has collapsed, and he is filled with rage. Lin Tian's luck value has decreased by 2,000, and the host has gained 20,000 villain points. Ding, the thugs outsourced by the host have cut the power lines at the home of the Chosen One, Lin Tian, causing him to slip and fall. Lin Tian is furious and seethes with hatred for the thugs, but there's nothing he can do. Lin Tian's luck value has decreased by 500, and the host has gained 5,000 villain points. Ding, the thugs outsourced by the host have ambushed Lin Tian, the Chosen One of Destiny, and forced him to compare sizes, deeply wounding Lin Tian's weak and insecure heart, causing severe mental trauma and shattering his mentality. Lin Tian's destiny value has decreased by 5,000, and the host has gained 50,000 villain points. 3 days passed, and Lin Tian lost a total of 54,000 points of luck, bringing his luck value down to 160,000. However, the decline continues. Young clan leader, all the information about Lin Tian is here. Manager Guan nervously handed over the documents he had been tasked with investigating. 3 days ago, after returning home, Manager Guan subtly inquired about the Lin Tian shares issue with the headquarters of Ren Shan Ren Hai. He was told that the young patriarch of the He family's main branch had already gone to investigate the matter, and that he didn't need to worry. Upon learning of this, Manager Guan was so excited that he lost all sleepiness. He hurriedly mobilized his network of connections in Luocheng to investigate all information about Lin Tian, hoping to leave a good impression on the young clan leader. However, for the next 3 days, the young clan leader did not come to the crowded Immortal Aperture for meals, which made Manager Guan very anxious. This morning, a man named Ah Hu contacted him, saying that the young clan leader was going to have lunch at the Supreme Immortal Aperture at the top of the crowded mountain, and that he should prepare accordingly. Upon seeing the young and promising clan leader He Chunkyu, Manager Guan was immediately awestruck. He had assumed the photos sent by the leader had been filtered and beautified, but the photos were still rather conservative. The young clan leader was incredibly handsome and extraordinary. It was the first time he had ever seen such a stunningly beautiful face. He Chunkyu, with an air of authority, took the documents handed to him by Manager Guan, glanced through them briefly, and found the investigation to be quite good and the intelligence quite detailed. Except for the lack of information about Lin Tian before he was 3 years old, everything else is basically consistent with what the He family's intelligence department found. He Chunkyu calmly placed Lin Tian's investigation report on the table, then smiled kindly and said in a calm tone, "Manager Guan, you don't need to worry. I have already investigated this matter thoroughly and will not hold it against you." Hearing this, Manager Guan finally felt relieved. "Young Clan Chief Zai, Young Clan Chief Zai." He Chunkyu smiled and waved his hand, indicating that he didn't need to be polite, and then gave the order with a serious expression. "Manager Guan, next you need to investigate all the travel itineraries and social details of the senior management of Luocheng Renshinrenhai in the past 3 months. Compile them and give them to Ah Hu." Manager Guan immediately stood at attention and respectfully replied, "Understood, young clan leader, rest assured, I will personally handle it." He apologized helplessly. "I'm sorry, guys, this is what the young clan leader asked for. Don't blame me if you die. Who told you to play without me? Heh. All right, you may leave." He Chunkyu nodded slightly, indicating that Manager Guan could leave. "Yes, young clan chief." Receiving a slight bow from young clan chief He Chunkyu, Manager Guan then withdrew from the Supreme Immortal Aperture. After Manager Guan left, He Chunkyu turned to Ah Hu, who was standing to the side, and asked, "Ah Hu, have you found He Lidong?" Reporting to young master, Elder He has been found. He was stopped in the Great Rift Valley of South Africa. He just returned to Kyushu yesterday and will arrive in Luocheng this afternoon. He Chunkyu nodded in satisfaction. He Lidong, an elder of a collateral branch of the He family, is the legal representative of Luocheng Renshinrenhai Hotel and owns 30% of the shares in Luocheng Renshinrenhai. The records of Linshin shares on the company's official website show that the transfer was made by He Lidong. After transferring the shares, they sent the person to a dangerous place, presumably to make it so that there would be no way to verify the facts. Fortunately, the Destiny Villain system alerted He Chunkyu, who immediately told his father He Hansheng about the matter. The He family then quickly located He Lidong and notified the local authorities to stop him. They successfully saved He Lidong's life. Young master, elder, he said he doesn't know why he went to the Great Rift Valley in South Africa. It's like he was hypnotized. He just found himself on the African continent in a daze, and he has no recollection of the share transfer. Ahu added. He Chunkyu nodded. Okay, I understand. Of course, he Lidong wouldn't have signed the agreement regarding the shares. He wouldn't have the guts, nor would he be that foolish. A 30% stake in Lowe's Angels is worth at least 800 million yuan. Most importantly, it can continuously generate more money. He Lidong isn't an idiot. Why would he give money to an ordinary person he has no connection with for no reason? All I can say is that the super-rich system is too vicious. After robbing others of their money, it also wants to kill them, physically eliminating any logical evidence. He Chunkyu exhaled a breath of stale air and ordered, Ahu, have the He family's legal department prepare evidence and file a lawsuit against Lin Tian in 3 days. Yes, young master, Ahu replied earnestly without a smile. He Chunkyu waved his hand, signaling Ahu to leave. He Chunkyu shook the drink in his hand, a sharp glint in his eyes. The He family's things weren't so easy to take. Super-rich individuals can perfectly replicate transfer agreements and perfectly tamper with online information, but they cannot change all of a person's thoughts. This is also why the super tycoon system would indirectly erase the signatory through some means. With no one to testify since he's dead, and coupled with the aura of intellectual impairment, he naturally wouldn't easily attract the attention of others. Even if some locals doubted and questioned the transfer of property to Lin Tian, the transferor's whereabouts were unknown and could not be reached by phone, and the agreement was not forged. The questioners had no recourse. At worst, the system can impersonate the transferor's voice and directly state that it was their own transfer, thus silencing everyone. If you require a face-to-face confrontation, I'm sorry, the transferor is overseas and has actually passed away long ago and has poor signal. Even if the skeptics manage to find some clues, they'll turn around and see that Lin Tian controls shares in several large conglomerates. At that point, even if they know the facts are false, they won't be able to take action against Lin Tian. Lin Tian, I had no intention of messing with you, but who told you to be so lucky as to be bound to this broken super-rich system? I won't be at ease until you go in and the super tycoon system disappears from this world. A ruthless glint flashed in He Chunkyu's heart. If you dare to steal my money, then you'd better face the consequences. For the sake of world peace and to get the world back on track, you Lin Tian and Yi Feng should honestly submit to the law. Chapter 104, he went bald, but he didn't become stronger. Damn it, Lin Tian gritted his teeth as he crawled out of the toilet. 3 days, a full 3 days. The dignified future super-rich man has been running around like a baby for 3 days. For the past 3 days, Lin Tian hasn't had a good night's sleep. Every time he closes his eyes, he knows he's in trouble. Until midnight yesterday, Lin Tiankai's eyelids uncontrollably, and he fell into a peaceful sleep. When he woke up, it was already the afternoon of the 4th day. The afterglow of the setting sun shone through the broken window onto Lin Tian's still slightly pale face. Lin Tian, supporting himself against the wall, entered the bathroom and began washing away the filth from his body. Damn it, it's all that pretty boy's fault. If he hadn't given me a bad review, I wouldn't have had to suffer like this. And those thugs, they smashed my windows, my car windows, my bed, my helmet, and even humiliated my younger brother. Just you wait. Once I become the richest man in Lowe's Angels, I'll make you pay. Lin Tian swore through gritted teeth. Ding, host has regained mobility and is in high spirits. Sunset mission generated. Sunset mission. As a tycoon, how could I be defeated by a small difficulty? Please open the yellow robe platform and randomly complete 5 orders, automatic order acceptance, to obtain 5 5-star reviews. Task reward, Liushui Villa King X1. Task time limit, 5 hours. Task penalty, all body hair disappears. Upon hearing about the new mission, Lin Tian's body instantly trembled. Another mission? Lin Tian quickly checked the mission details. After reading the mission details, Lin Tian breathed a sigh of relief. Thankfully, the punishment isn't too severe. Going bald is acceptable. No, why should I think about failure before I've even started? Lin Tian shook himself frantically, trying to shake off all the immature thoughts in his mind. After noting down the address of the merchant for the first order that had appeared, Lin Tian quickly took out his phone and hailed a taxi to the location. There's nothing we can do. The Bugatti Veyron downstairs from Lin Tian is now just a shell, and it won't be able to be repaired anytime soon. Instead of dragging it to the repair shop, It's better to focus on completing the task and wait to pick up the car. Lin Tian didn't even care about a mere car. Note, to explain, Lin Tian's orders will initially only show an approximate delivery time. Once the system detects that someone has placed an order, it will randomly accept orders that meet the criteria. At the same time, He Chunkyu, who lived in Building 6 of Liushui Bieu, also learned about Lin Tian's mission. System, put my order into Lin Tian's task list. Beep host, the second order requires 3,000 villain points. Deduct it, He Chunkyu waved his hand. Ding, 3,000 villain points deducted from the host. The takeout order has been added to the super rich order queue. Please select the desired items. Just a bowl of porridge, a box of fried potatoes, a bowl of glutinous rice balls, and a large glass of deluxe plum juice, please. He Chunkyu casually picked out a few late-night snacks. Just like last time, choose a chain store in which the He family has a stake. He Chunkyu calmly specified the merchant once again. He Chunkyu also eats local snacks, but he only orders from the chain stores in which his family has a stake. Beep, selection successful. Going bald, Lin Tian, I really look forward to seeing your expression then. A hint of a smile flashed in He Chunkyu's eyes. 4 orders have been completed, 1 more to go, let me see. Order 9 fragrance white jade soup, crispy golden taro, full moon reunion, and mellow purple nectar. Holy crap, what is this? I've never heard of this before. Lin Tian stared blankly at the order the system had assigned him. Continue reading. Merchant crowds of people. Order address, Villa number 6, Liushui Bieu. Seeing the crowds at the restaurant, Lin Tian immediately understood the names of the dishes. However, what Lin Tian didn't expect was that the restaurant had also joined the food delivery service. Lin Tian sighed. No wonder they're rich, spending thousands on takeout. Wait, Liushui Villa number 6. Lin Tian rubbed his eyes in disbelief. I checked it again, and the address is correct. It is indeed Villa number 6, Liushui Bieu, the same place as the pretty boy from last time. Lin Tian instantly felt uneasy. Villa number 6 in Liushui residence, this guy was truly a real troublemaker. However, everything this pretty boy ordered this time seems normal, so there shouldn't be any problems, right? Lin Tian reassured himself, though still somewhat uncertain. Fine, I'll just have it as a midnight snack. Lin Tian cheered himself up. I drank the super spicy milk tea last time, so what's so scary about normal food this time? This time I'm determined to see him give it a 5-star review. Lin Tian, mustering his courage, walked to the front desk of the Crowded People Hotel, dressed in a yellow robe. Waiter, I'm here to pick up my takeout. Lin Tian acted all high and mighty. With a 30% stake, Lin Tian was quite confident. Upon hearing the voice, the receptionist felt inexplicably angry at this impolite guy. She looked up and saw that it was the same eccentric shareholder who had caused trouble in the crowd a few days ago. She held back. To pick up takeout food, go through that small door at the back of the hotel. There's someone there who handles it, the receptionist said with a cold smile. Lin Tian nodded in satisfaction, then turned and left, as if he had made some kind of resolute decision. Arriving at the small door at the back of the hotel, there were indeed 2 young women in work uniforms sitting inside. After verifying Lin Tian's order number, one of the young women quickly went to the kitchen, retrieved the takeout food that the chef had prepared in advance, and handed it to Lin Tian with a smile. Lin Tian nodded in satisfaction, turned around and left, hailing another ride-hailing car. Not long after, the ride-hailing car stopped at the entrance of Liushui Bieu. Unable to enter, Lin Tian had no choice but to get out of the car early, feeling dissatisfied. How am I supposed to get in this time? Lin Tian's mind started racing. Last time he was driving a Bugatti Veyron, and the security guard didn't stop him. This time he didn't have any car, so unsurprisingly, the guard definitely won't let him in. What to do? Hello, is this Mr. He's takeout from Building 6? A young veteran walked up to Lin Tian. Huh? Lin Tian looked at the young security guard with a blank expression, then realized what he meant and hurriedly replied without thinking. Yes, I'm delivering takeout to that pretty boy in Building 6. The young veteran nodded and held out his hand. Give me the takeout. Lin Tian, degrees Japanese letter degrees. No unauthorized personnel are allowed at Liushui Villa. I'll deliver your takeout, the young, veteran security guard explained with a smile. Lin Tian was furious, but he declared loudly and respectfully, My mission is to deliver takeout to every customer. Upon hearing this, the young veteran security guard's eyes sharpened, and he repeated with a serious expression, No unauthorized personnel are allowed to enter Liushui Villa. I'll deliver your takeout. Who are you calling unauthorized personnel? Lin Tian glared angrily at the young veteran security guard. The two were locked in a fierce battle, neither willing to give in. "Young man, I advise you not to cause trouble. I'm a 10-year Special Forces soldier. Be careful, or I'll throw you out." The security captain walked over with a stun gun to try and break up the fight. Upon seeing the weapon in the veteran security guard's hand, Lin Tian suddenly felt a chill run down his spine. He quickly handed over the takeout and said with a smile, "Brother security guard, I was wrong just now. Please take care of the takeout, brother." The young, veteran security guard accepted the takeout with a serious expression, and his attitude softened a bit. "It would have been better if you had brought it over earlier. We're all just trying to make things difficult for each other." "Yes, yes." Lin Tian nodded politely and continued, "Could you please ask me for a 5-star review?" The young veteran security guard waved his right hand, indicating that there was no need to say anything more, and he wouldn't say anything. Seeing the unified gesture that said no need for further words, Lin Tian instantly understood and knew that everything was in the bag. 10 minutes later, Lin Tian, sitting in the ride-hailing car, suddenly let out a wail, "No." Lin Tian went bald, but he didn't become stronger. "P.S. Please encourage me to update and support me. Omega equals. Chapter 105, The Disease That Shocked the World. Ding, removing a 1-star review has failed the system task. The system penalty mechanism has been activated, and the host's body hair has fallen out. At the same moment, good news came from He Chunkyu's side. Ding, the host has bestowed a 6-star rating upon the chosen one of destiny, Lin Tian, causing Lin Tian to fail his mission and suffer punishment. Lin Tian is heartbroken, his mentality is shattered, and his spirit is severely damaged. Lin Tian's luck value has plummeted by 20,000, and the host has gained 200,000 villain points. "No," Lin Tian cried out in despair. Lin Tian hugged his shiny bald head in grief, desperately trying to keep the hair that was stuck between his hand and his bald head. The ride-hailing driver glanced at Lin Tian in the rearview mirror, then angrily slammed on the brakes, bringing the car to a sudden stop on the side of the road. Lin Tian, who wasn't wearing a seatbelt, lurched forward due to inertia. The smooth, reflective bulb head made intimate contact with the seat, producing a dull thud. The driver angrily pushed open the car door, strode to the back door, yanked it open, grabbed Lin Tian by the collar and dragged him out of the car. "Hey kid, take a good look at my car." The driver angrily pointed at the hair and body hair on the back seat and shouted, "This is my brand new car, which I just bought not long ago, and you've messed it up like this. If you don't give me a satisfactory explanation today, don't even think about leaving." Turning his head, Lin Tian looked at the back seat covered in hair and couldn't help but feel a surge of sorrow. "Ah, I hate it." Slap, the driver slapped Lin Tian across the face. "Stop barking like a dog. Pay up." The driver's eyes widened with rage, veins bulging as he grabbed Lin Tian's collar and said fiercely, "I'm warning you, you're not leaving today without paying." I'll pay," Lin Tian quickly agreed. "HMPH," the driver sneered. "You're smart to know what's good for you. The depreciation cost of the new car, the car wash fee, the lost wages for the past few days of repairs, and my compensation for emotional distress all come to 5,000 yuan. I'm not overcharging you, am I?" The driver said kindly as he calculated. Lin Tian didn't listen to a word, took out his phone and ordered, 10,000, send me to the best hospital in the province." "What, 100,000? After a 2-second shock, the driver quickly recovered. "Okay, Prince, please sit down." The driver, all smiles, helped Lin Tian into the car and thoughtfully fastened his seatbelt. Then he pulled out another QR code, smiled, and said, "Could you please settle the bill first?" Lin Tian expressionlessly took out his phone and transferred 100,000 RMB to the other party without even blinking. Upon seeing the payment confirmed, the driver's smile became even more amiable. "Prince, please sit tight. I'll take you to the best hospital in our province right away." With that, the driver floored the accelerator and sped off towards the provincial hospital. "How strange, how strange." An elderly professor with white hair wearing a white coat looked at the medical report in his hand with a surprised expression. The professor had never encountered such a strange symptom before. Necrosis of hair follicles all over the body. "Teacher, I wasn't lying to you, was I? This person's entire body has necrotic hair follicles, yet they're still alive and kicking," a middle-aged doctor said with a serious expression. The old professor nodded and said with a solemn expression, "This kind of disease has never been seen before in the medical field. For some unknown reason, all the hair follicles in the body die simultaneously, but the person does not show any other complications." The old professor thought for a moment, then said with a serious expression, "I'll go find those old fogies and have them come over to study this together. This patient named Lin Tian has a very unusual illness, unlike anything ever seen in the world before, and must be taken very seriously. Sir, what about Mr. Lin? He keeps cursing us for being incompetent and is demanding to be discharged," the middle-aged doctor asked with some concern. "The disease is bizarre and unheard of worldwide. Regardless of success or failure, he is the first person to discover it. If he can successfully solve it, he will surely be recorded in the history of the medical community. Take him for a few more tests, take some hair follicle samples, and if possible, try to persuade him to stay in the hospital for further observation," the old professor said sternly. "Okay, doctor, I'll try to persuade him again," the middle-aged doctor replied. "Quack doctors, they're all quacks. What kind of damn provincial capital's top hospital is this? They can't even cure something this simple. Useless. Useless. Get out, all of you, get out." Seeing that Lin Tian was still going crazy, the middle-aged doctor had no choice but to bite the bullet and gently knock on the ward door. "Get out, all of you, get out," Lin Tian roared angrily. "Mr. Lin, I am your attending physician," the middle-aged doctor said calmly. As the hospital director, he had seen many medical disputes and was no longer surprised by Lin Tian's emergency response. Hearing the familiar voice, Lin Tian calmed down a bit and looked at Director Ma with pleading eyes. "Dr. Ma, how is it? Does your teacher have any ideas?" "Mr. Lin, your condition is the first of its kind in the world, and even my mentor isn't entirely confident." Director Ma paused, then continued. "But you don't need to worry. My mentor has already discussed this with many of his old friends, and in a couple of days, top experts from around the world will be coming to China to discuss treatment options for the condition." Lin Tian nodded dejectedly, sighing inwardly. Sure enough, the system's punishment wasn't so easy to resolve. Ding, host's low mood detected. K-Ang mission generated. Rising Sun mission. The early bird catches the worm. As a future tycoon, how can you be disheartened by such a trivial setback? Please open the Golden Robe platform and complete 10 orders after sunrise tomorrow, earning 10 5-star reviews. Task time limit, 10 hours. Task rewards, hair follicle function restoration, 100 million in cash. Villa number 5, Liushui Villa. Mission failure penalty. Niu Zai disappears completely. Upon hearing the first half, Lin Tian was so angry that he almost refused the mission. However, when he learned about the punishment for failing the mission, Lin Tian immediately wilted. He endured it for his younger brother's sake. It seems he can't stay in the hospital any longer. He needs to find a way out quickly, otherwise his mission tomorrow will definitely fail. "Mr. Lin, we suggest you stay in the hospital for observation. If you agree, we can cover your treatment costs," Director Ma said with a smile. Lin Tian nodded, his face expressionless, and replied, "Okay, I understand. You can go now. I want to be alone." "Let him stay and be a guinea pig? How could that be? Lin Tian is a future super-rich man. He doesn't lack the treatment costs at all. Besides, he'll be fully recovered after completing his mission tomorrow. So why is he still staying in this run-down hospital? If he weren't afraid of trouble, he would have left by now. All right, Mr. Lin, please take care and get some rest. Contact me if you have any questions. Here's my business card." Director Ma smiled and handed over his business card. Lin Tian nodded indifferently, as if he had accepted a piece of waste paper. Late at night, while everyone else was fast asleep, Lin Tian left the hospital alone. The mission was all that Lin Tian could think about right now. "Now that I'm not in Los Angeles, I'm sure I won't run into you again." Lin Tian felt confident. He rushed to Jingzhou overnight, hoping not to run into that pretty boy surnamed He again. Without any obstacles, completing tasks should be a piece of cake, right? Little did they know, there was also a He family member in Jingzhou. Chapter 106. Zhang Linchen carelessly loses his second brother. Upon learning about Lin Tian's mission, He Chunkyu immediately ordered a milk tea for his distant cousin in Jingzhou. As usual, I spent another 3,000 villain points. The next morning, Lin Tian woke up on a park bench in high spirits, humming a little tune, and began his first task of the sunrise mission. Lin Tian glanced at it casually. The order was for a cup of milk tea, and the delivery address was in a villa area that Lin Tian had never heard of. I didn't expect rich people to be so down to earth these days, ordering milk tea so early in the morning. Lin Tian yawned. Lin Tian yawned again. "Let's get started quickly, finish the mission, and go back to Los Angeles." Lin Tian shook his head, humming a little tune as he walked towards the park exit. "Waiter, I'm here to get my food." Lin Tian shouted arrogantly. Upon seeing the man's attire, the waitress politely said, "Sir, please do not cause trouble." "What do you mean by causing trouble? I'm here to pick up my food, get it out right now," Lin Tian shouted, extremely displeased. After several failed missions, Lin Tian was seething with anger. It was one thing for that pretty boy and those thugs to bully him before, but now even a lowly waiter is bullying him. Do they really think Lin Tian, is easy to bully? All eyes turned to Lin Tian, bald, wearing a hospital gown. Could this be a mentally ill person who escaped from a mental hospital? "Excuse me, sir, what is your order number?" The store manager rushed over, pulled aside the summer employee, and asked, following the question posed by the bald man who seemed mentally unstable. Hearing this, Lin Tian nodded in satisfaction, then slowly stated the tracking number. "The tracking number is 1544. After hearing this, the store manager pretended to be calm and started checking today's orders on the computer. But she didn't take Lin Tian's nonsense to heart. How could you possibly find the ramblings of a mentally ill person? However, she was stunned when she saw the order on the screen. There was actually a tracking number in the order that was exactly the same as the one this lunatic had mentioned. A coincidence? The store manager wondered. However, she didn't show it. Instead, she continued to pretend that nothing was wrong and started rummaging through the milk tea on the table. "Hurry up, I'm in a rush," Lin Tian's impatient voice came through. "Okay, okay." The shop manager quickly responded, found the corresponding milk tea and handed it to Lin Tian. "Sir, here's your milk tea, please take it," the shop manager said with a smile. "Whether it's a coincidence or not, let's get rid of this guy who seems to be mentally ill first." Anyway, she had already torn up the order information, so it wouldn't affect the customer's safety. "It's just a cup of milk tea. It's not like she can't afford to pay for it." Lin Tian took the milk tea without even glancing at it, then took out his phone and pressed the "Writer has accepted the order confirmation" button on the Huangpao Jiashan platform. The next moment, ding, a negative review has been detected that the host has received. The Keiyang mission has failed, the system's punishment mechanism has been activated, and the host's second brother has gone missing. In an instant, the convex shape changed to a concave shape. "No," Lin Tian suddenly let out a blood-curdling scream. Everyone was so frightened that they retreated one after another. In the blink of an eye, a vacuum area of about 2 meters was formed around Lin Tian. "Could this guy be having an episode?" one bystander asked hesitantly. "I think it's about right," another person whispered in agreement. "I've heard that most mental illnesses are sudden onset. 1 second you're normal, and the next you might suddenly have an attack. That makes sense. Everyone should step back. Mentally ill people don't get punished for killing." Upon hearing this, the people at the milk tea shop rushed to the sidewalk outside, cautiously observing the situation. The staff of the milk tea shop also quietly left from the back, and also called the police. Lin Tian stood there, stunned, filled with endless sorrow. Without his second brother, what would be the point of possessing boundless wealth and power in the future? Second brother, it's your eldest brother. I'm so sorry." Lin Tian's heart shattered. At this moment, Lin Tian's last worry collapsed. Ding, the host bestowed a 6-star rating upon the chosen one of destiny, Lin Tian, directly causing Lin Tian's mission to end prematurely, dying before it even began, losing his younger brother and suffering a mental breakdown. His mind shattered, he felt utterly hopeless, and developed a deep resentment towards the super tycoon system. Lin Tian's luck value plummeted by 70,000, and the host gained 700,000 villain points. Ding, Lin Tian, the chosen one, carelessly lost his second brother, lost hope for the future, and suffered a mental breakdown. Lin Tian's luck value plummeted by 20,000, and the host gained 200,000 villain points. Ding, Lin Tian, the chosen one of destiny, has been arrested by the Law Enforcement Bureau and diagnosed in a mental hospital. His reputation is ruined. Lin Tian's luck value has been reduced by 3,000, and the host has gained 30,000 villain points. Ding, Lin Tian, the chosen one, has caused a negative impact on society. His account has been permanently banned by the Yellow Robe platform, temporarily depriving him of mission pathways. Lin Tian's chosen one status has been reduced by 3,000, and the host has gained 30,000 villain points. Ding, the chosen one of destiny, Lin Tian, has suffered a severe blow. His mind is shattered, he has lost hope in life, and his spirit has sunk into despair. Lin Tian's destiny value has been reduced by 4,000, and the host has gained 40,000 villain points. "Holy crap, this is a critical hit!" He Chunkyu stood up excitedly. 1 million villain points, a whole million villain points. It's like an incredible windfall. At this moment, He Chunkyu suddenly wanted to say to Lin Tian, "Thank you, Lin Tian." Ding, Yifeng and Lin Tian's luck values are about to fall below 10% of their total luck, reaching the perfect kill threshold. The perfect kill condition has been met. Host, please continue your efforts to completely resolve the Super Tycoon system and restore the world to normalcy. Lin Tian's remaining luck, 40,000. 40,000 remaining, originally 399,999. 10% of the total luck is 39,999.9. Just 0.1 short of the perfect kill threshold. He Chunkyu murmured softly. No way, I can't seem to access the Super Tycoon system. I can't select it. How am I supposed to fight? He Chunkyu sighed helplessly. The Super Tycoon system isn't a person. It's unknown whether it even has a physical form. He Chunkyu simply couldn't find a way to destroy it. Ding, host, no need to worry. This system will take action when the time is right. Hearing the words of the Destiny Villain system, He Chunkyu breathed a sigh of relief. So that's how it is. I thought I was going to have to take action. You scared me. Ding, host is overthinking it. With your abilities, even if the Super Tycoon system is on the verge of death, you can't do anything to it. He Chunkyu, System, can you not complain to my face? I have my pride too. Ding, 100,000 villain points. Ah, this, He Chunkyu scratched the back of his head. Then forget it. System, do as you please. Don't give me face. I don't need it. Just kidding. Compared to 100,000 villain points, how much is face worth? And since nobody knows, there's no loss of face involved. Host, please do as you see fit. Sigh, He Chunkyu sighed, skillfully opened the system shop, found the various human stats he had seen before, and began frantically adding points. At the same time, the Super Tycoon system deep within Lin Tian's consciousness also vaguely sensed that something was wrong with He Chunkyu. After investigation, the Super Tycoon system found nothing unusual about He Chunkyu, which was clearly wrong. The Super Tycoon system conducted several more surprise investigations, but still found nothing. P.S. Please encourage me to update and support me with your love. Symbol 311, Symbol 311. Chapter 107, the third host of the Super Tycoon system. 2 more days passed. Lin Tian, you can leave now. A director of the mental hospital, representing the He family, walked in. Get out, I can really get out. Lin Tian excitedly sat up in bed, his eyes shining. Since Lin Tian was taken to the mental hospital 2 days ago, several groups of people have come to conduct a detailed examination of him. Those people even doubted Lin Tian's gender and arranged an absurd gynecological examination for him. After what he had experienced these past 2 days, Lin Tian felt like he wanted to die. Now, finally hearing the news that he could be discharged from the hospital, Lin Tian's joy was beyond words. Great, that's wonderful. Lin Tian jumped off the bed excitedly. Ding, the host's high emotional state has been detected, so a task to start from scratch has been specially generated. Starting from scratch, the beginning is always the hardest. As a super rich person, how can you be scared by a small ban? Please create a new account on another delivery platform, complete 13 orders, and get 13 5-star reviews. Task deadline, 2.5 days. Task rewards, second brother returns, 300 million in cash, 20% stake in Jingzhou Renhai Shopping Mall. Penalty for failure, surname change, XY right arrow, Roman 20. Upon hearing about the new task, Lin Tian's cheerful smile vanished abruptly. A mission, another damn mission, I'm punished every day. I'll endure it. Lin Tian forcibly suppressed his anger. As the saying goes, a moment of patience brings calm, and a step back opens up a vast sky. Now that I'm in this situation, I have nowhere to retreat, and there's no other way out. It seems I have no choice but to take a gamble. Lin Tian kept encouraging himself. Under the dual pressure of task rewards and failure penalties, Lin Tian gave a bitter smile, took out his phone again, and registered an account on the platform that was given away on the spot. Ding, new account registration detected. First order generated anytime, anywhere. Lin Tian glanced at the delivery contents. The item being delivered was homework, and the pickup location wasn't far, about 3 kilometers from Jingzhou Jie Mental Hospital. As soon as Lin Tian walked out of the mental hospital, several law enforcement officers in plainclothes surrounded him. One of the plainclothes officers produced an arrest warrant, looked sharply at Lin Tian, and solemnly announced, Lin Tian, you are under arrest. What? Lin Tian's eyes darted around. The brain, the size of a kernel, kept recalling its actions from the first half of its life, constantly searching for whether it had truly committed any wrongdoing. At the same time, A gleaming silver handcuff suddenly appeared in Lin Tian's hand. Lin Tian, you are suspected of several serious crimes, including undermining the cybersecurity of the Kyushu Kingdom, undermining the economic security of the Kyushu Kingdom, and participating in online fraud and money laundering. We have sufficient evidence, and we are now arresting you in accordance with the law enforcement officer announced sternly, his voice carrying an unquestionable authority. Sir, I didn't. I've never done anything illegal or disorderly. You must have made a mistake. Lin Tian's face flushed red, veins bulging on his forehead as he loudly and emotionally defended himself. If you haven't committed any crime, then where did the money in your account and the shares in your name come from? The enforcement captain scrutinized Lin Tian expressionlessly. Lin Tian's bank account held a cold 200 million yuan, and he also owned several valuable properties, bringing his total assets to nearly 1 billion yuan. Lin Tian, an orphan with no background, where did he get so much money? This is all money I earned from delivering food, Lin Tian argued humbly and assertively. The super-rich tycoon had explicitly told him that all the money was obtained through legal means and was his rightful private property earned from completing the mission. He absolutely would not allow these people to smear his innocence. Seeing Lin Tian's stubbornness, the enforcement captain laughed, a laugh born of anger. Take them away, the enforcement captain ordered sternly. Several law enforcement officers easily apprehended Lin Tian, who was wearing a silver bracelet, and escorted him to the law enforcement vehicle, completing the arrest operation cleanly and efficiently. Ding, Lin Tian, the chosen one, has been captured by the Tianhai Law Enforcement Bureau's Special Task Force and is currently being held in Tianhai awaiting judgment. He has lost his freedom. Lin Tian's luck value has been reduced by 3,000, and the host has gained 30,000 villain points. Ding, the chosen one of destiny, Lin Tian, has failed in his special mission starting over. Lin Tian's surname has changed, XY right arrow, Roman 20. Lin Tian's mentality has exploded. He has suffered a mental breakdown and fallen into despair. Lin Tian's luck value has plummeted by 20,000, and the host has gained 200,000 villain points. Let me out, I'm innocent. I haven't broken the law. You have no right to arrest me. Lin Tian gripped the cold iron door tightly with both hands, shaking it incessantly. You corrupt officials, I will sue you. I will not yield. You bastards, let me out. I want to get out. Quiet down. A tall prison guard, nearly 1.9 meters tall, appeared in front of Lin Tian's special cell, holding a baton, and impatiently knocked on Lin Tian's door. Hearing the voice, Lin Tian angrily raised her head, her eyes flashing with rage. Let me out. I'm innocent. You bunch of corrupt officials who bully others with your power, I'm going to go out and sue you. Her voice was filled with boundless hatred and determination. The prison guard frowned, a hint of displeasure on his face. Without hesitation, he raised his baton and stabbed Lin Tian hard in the stomach. Lin Tian suddenly felt a sharp pain, and his body involuntarily curled up, like a small shrimp that had been boiled. I told you to be quiet. Can't you understand human language, you damn transvestite? The guard humiliated mercilessly. Lin Tian glared angrily at the guard, not daring to say a word. The guard, unfazed, continued, All right, you dead transvestite, behave yourself tonight. Your case goes to trial tomorrow, so think it over carefully tonight. Confess and you'll be treated leniently, resist and you'll be punished severely. After saying that, the prison guard left. Ding, host has been humiliated by prison guards. A retaliatory slap in the face mission has been generated. Counterattack mission. As a tycoon, how can you be humiliated by a nobody? Please leave the prison honorably and make the jailer regret his actions, and let him see who the real king is. Mission reward, 1 billion in cash. Penalty for failure, the super tycoon system will be unbound. Task time limit, 10 hours. Nothing more was said that night. The next day in court, the petite and helpless Lin Tian sat in the defendant's seat. Ding, host's mission failed. System punishment mechanism activated. Super tycoon system unbinding 10%, 30%, 70%, 100%. System unbinding successful. Goodbye, useless host. The super tycoon system left Lin Tian with a look of disdain and appeared in the Supreme Court of Tianhai, but no one could see the super tycoon system. Despite the repulsive force of the world's consciousness, the super tycoon system scanned the area and then looked intently at He Chunkyu, who was sitting in the audience. Kid, you're the one. The grassroots losers are too weak, and it won't work if we don't change our strategy. Among the crowd, He Chunkyu, who has killed 2 previous hosts of the super-rich system, has become the top candidate for the third host of the Super Rich system. Kid, you've taken out 2 previous hosts of this system. Hopefully, you'll give me a big surprise. The Super Tycoon system charged toward He Chunkyu with a maniacal laugh. Chapter 108 grabbed in one go, refined in an instant. Ding, the Super Tycoon system has been created. Holy crap. A colossal hand, radiating endless purple light, slammed down and seized the fish-like spirit form of the Super Godly Rich system. Big boss, I was wrong. The Super Tycoon system cried out in terror, begging for mercy. Chenzhou's great creation hand remained unmoved, grabbing the energy source of the Super Godly Rich system and refining it in an instant. Ah, no, no, the Super Tycoon system cried out in terror. However, the Super Rich system shouts were of no use. In just a moment, 99.999% of the Super Tycoon system's energy was forcibly refined by Chenzhou, and hundreds of years of accumulation were also confiscated by Chenzhou. Only a wisp of consciousness remained, clinging to life. This was all intentional on Chenzhou's part. Big boss, spare my life, the Super Tycoon system pleaded weakly. Although the Super Rich system didn't know why the other party wasn't killing it, one thing was certain. Begging for mercy was the right thing to do. Oh, Chenzhou deliberately feigned an interested tone. What benefit would I get if I spared you? Upon hearing this, the processor core of the Super Tycoon system was overjoyed and immediately began to tempt him with promises. My lord, I am the Super Tycoon system, and I can provide you with currencies from various ordinary worlds. I know you don't care about such worldly things, sir. I'm willing to offer you the system's essence that I've collected over the years, sir. I only ask that you spare my life. Chenzhou nodded slightly, a professional smile playing on his lips. Origin, this thing is indeed quite good. A hint of satisfaction shone in his eyes. The Super Tycoon system nodded excitedly, its tone fawning. Yes, my lord. Although I haven't collected much source energy over the years, I'm willing to dedicate it all to you. The Super Tycoon system's eyes were full of flattery and fawning, as if it were showing Chenzhou its loyalty and sincerity. Then the Super Tycoon system earnestly pledged its loyalty. This humble system is willing to acknowledge you as my godfather, serve you faithfully, obey your commands, and serve you with all its might. Having said this, the Super Tycoon system knelt down and kowtowed without hesitation. Seeing this, Chenzhou stretched out his right hand and used the divine power of the Great Creation hand to gently grab and firmly hold the Super Godly Rich system, which was kowtowing. After the Super Tycoon system was mentioned, a hint of surprise and gratitude flashed in his eyes, and he quickly said, My lord! No, godfather, your son thanks you for your kindness. The Super Tycoon system's voice was filled with emotion, as if it had received the most precious gift in the world. The next moment, Chenzhou exerted a slight force with his Great Creation hand, and the Super Godly Rich system vanished into thin air, his body and soul extinguished. Foolish, even if I kill you, the stuff will still be mine, Chenzhou retorted with amusement. Ding, the Super Tycoon system has been cleared. Main quest complete. The world is back on track. System, thank you. He Chunkyu expressed his heartfelt gratitude. Without the Super Rich system, the world has returned to normal. It's not easy. You're welcome. Just pay 200,000 villain points. He Chunkyu almost spat out a mouthful of blood. 200,000 villain points? You truly deserve to be called the Destiny Villain system, even stealing from the host, 6. Haha, system, you really like to joke around. Ding, successfully deducted 200,000 villain points from the host. The host has 600,000 villain points remaining. Please use them as soon as possible. System will be unbound soon. Unbinding countdown, 002959. System, are you leaving? He Chunkyu's mood turned heavy. Host, all good things must come to an end. You have your narrow path and I have my starry journey. Take care. Although the Destiny Villain system had some minor flaws, it genuinely helped me for nearly a month, helping me defy fate, save tens of thousands of people in the He family, and ultimately save the world. Without the Destiny Villain system, there would be no future for He Chunkyu, no future for the He clan, and no future for this world. He could never repay the life-saving grace, the grace of saving his entire clan, and the grace of saving the world. System, all my stats are almost maxed out villain points. You can have them. He Chunkyu couldn't help but feel disappointed. The next moment, ding, the Destiny Villain system has been successfully unbound. He Chunkyu, oh. The Destiny Villain system, you liar. He Chunkyu roared inwardly. It was supposed to be a very sad thing. and He Chunkyu was still thinking about how to say goodbye to the Destiny Villain system and say some words of farewell. Before He Chunkyu could even organize his thoughts, the Destiny Villain system instantly unbound him. This will shock He Chunkyu for the rest of his life. After shouting, He Chunkyu stood there stunned. Liang Si thought for a long time, and finally all his words were reduced to 2 words. Take care. Ding, the Destiny Villain system has added you to the multiverse chat group. Damn it, system, you tricked me into tears again. He Chunkyu was so angry his liver hurt. Okay, you're just teasing him on purpose, aren't you? Saving Lord Li Feiyu. At one person crying, He Chunkyu, welcome new brother, post a picture. Super Genius System, welcome newbie, post a picture. Evil Grin JPG. Starry Sky Ice Emperor, Chu Ci's widow. At one person crying, He Chunkyu, welcome. 3 messages welcoming the new member popped up in the group. Chat instantly. A person crying, He Chunkyu. At the great villain system of Destiny system, come out here, you big liar. Powerless Rage JPG. West Heaven War Emperor, Wang Heianen, did I miss something? Scratching head in confusion. I charged in and out of Changbin 7 times, Zhao Zilong. Hey, newcomer, welcome. The Destiny Villain system, what can you do to me? Extremely arrogant JPG. West Heaven War Emperor, Wang Heianen, 666. I charged in and out of Changbin 7 times, Zhao Zilong. System bro has shocked me for 100 years. Super Genius System, nothing surprising. Starry Sky Ice Emperor, Chu Ci's widow, it's nothing new. A person is crying, He Chunkyu. What does this mean? The Destiny Villain system. At all members, there's a world celebrating the Mid-Autumn Festival. I'm going over to Mucha Mooncake. You guys chat, bye. Goodbye, JPG. I charged in and out of Changbin 7 times, Zhao Zilong. At a lone cry, He Chunkyu. This is a long story, so I won't go into it. West Heaven War Emperor, Wang Heianen. A person crying, He Chunkyu. What's the difference between what you said and not saying anything at all? Speechless JPG. After closing the chat group, Chen Zhou had already completed the task settlement with ease. Special Purge Mission, Super Tycoon System. Quest level, Orange Yellow+++. Main quest completion, completed. Task rating, perfect. Side quests, none. Special missions, none. Target eliminated, already dealt with independently. Total mission reward, 400 origin points main mission settlement, approximately 360 origin points, plus additional assessment reward, approximately 40 origin points. Remaining origin points for this mission, 436 origin points, total mission points, including the difference extracted from the host. Total origin points, 6236 origin points, 2800 origin points remaining from last time plus 436 origin points from this mission, plus 3000 origin points obtained from refining the Super Tycoon system's total energy. The main focus of this mission was the Super Tycoon system itself. I extracted a total of 3000 points of essence, which is not bad, and the harvest was plentiful. Chen Zhou had already chosen his next mission, a world of strange and unpredictable rules. On the night of the Mid-Autumn Festival, when the moon is full, the 9 stars align, space changes, and the live stream of strange tales about rules descends. P.S. Happy Mid-Autumn Festival in advance, everyone. Japanese letter FF89 tilde. Please urge me to update and support me with your love. Omega equals. Chapter 109, All is Well, side story of the Godly Tycoon arc. Brief explanation of the He Chunkyu arc. With the departure of the Destiny Villain system, Lin Tian's judgment proceeded as originally planned, due to the huge amount of money involved, and the fact that it involved the unexplained disappearance of 3 small and medium-sized business owners. Ultimately, Lin Tian was sentenced to 213 years in prison and deprived of his personal rights for life. Until the verdict was handed down, Lin Tian maintained a blank stare as the special department took her away. Throughout the entire process, Lin Tian did not utter a single word, as if he was still unable to extricate himself from the matter of unbinding the super-rich system. However, given the series of bizarre events that happened to Lin Tian was not sent to a regular prison. Inside a mysterious research institute, Lin Tian met Yi Feng, whom he had never met before. However, Yi Feng's appearance had changed drastically. He looked old, his hair was completely white, and he was even hard of hearing. Lin Tian was unable to recognize Yi Feng. It wasn't until he overheard the researchers' conversation that Lin Tian realized that the other old man being held there was actually the infamous fraudster from before. At this moment, Lin Tiankai finally realized that Yi Feng, the fraudster who had become famous all over the country, was actually the host of the super-rich system. Upon learning of this, Lin Tian fell silent. We are both wanderers in this world. Why should we need to have known each other before? Lin Tian sighed, wanting to reveal the super tycoon system, but no matter how he tried, he couldn't directly or indirectly mention it, as if those words were forbidden. After several fruitless attempts, Lin Tian, like Yi Feng, chose to give up and just drift along. Yi Feng merely glanced at Lin Tian. Yi Feng, who had already given up on the newly arrived bald woman, had no desire to have any contact with her. Since the evil super-rich system was unbound, Yi Feng's body has aged rapidly. In just a few days, Yi Feng has become an old man. 2 weeks ago, the prison guard in charge of watching Yi Feng noticed something unusual about Yi Feng and immediately reported it to the hospital for examination. The examination report showed that Yi Feng was just an ordinary old man with no abnormalities. Since there was no scientific explanation for his aging, Yi Feng was secretly transferred to the Institute of Strange Events and became a research subject. But after several days, they still couldn't figure out why Yi Feng was aging. Yi Feng was either in a daze or on his way to a daze. Researchers tried to counsel him, but Yi Feng, who had already given up on life, didn't say a word. He just ignored it and gave it a blank stare. In the end, the matter of comforting Yi Feng came to nothing. Yi Feng's sister, Yi Wanning, had a more positive attitude. Because Yi Wanning only lent the card to Yi Feng and was completely unaware of Yi Feng's recidivism, she was sentenced to only 3 years in prison. When Yi Wanning learned that she had been sentenced to 3 years in prison because of that good-for-nothing Yi Feng, she was completely stunned. Having just entered university and been blessed with 3 years of free meals, Yi Wanning also received a notice of expulsion from her dream university. Her bright eyes instantly dimmed. But Yi Wanning couldn't do anything about the verdict, since she didn't know Yi Feng would use her card to cause such a big problem. Since she was already there, she decided to make the best of it and figured she couldn't change the outcome anyway. So Yi Wanning cheered herself up and resolved to behave well in order to get a reduced sentence. Aside from the few days when she heard that her father, Yi Lusu, had come in and had an emotional breakdown, Yi Wanning was very positive, and her fellow inmates took good care of this poor girl. Because she was implicated by her own brother, her fellow inmates all felt indignant on Yi Wanning's behalf. Even the female prison guards who oversaw the women's prison felt great sympathy for Yi Wanning's tragic plight. His father, Yi Lvsu, was a human trafficker, and his brother, Yi Feng, was a fraud ringleader. They finally got into a prestigious university, but before they had even completed a month of study, they were thrown into the sewers. This level of bad luck is truly unbelievable. After dealing with the mess surrounding the super tycoon system, He Chunkyu's life returned to normal. Aside from occasionally taking his girlfriend Liu Ruyan out for fun, he mostly spent his time inspecting and learning about the He family's various companies, gaining a detailed understanding of the He family's businesses. A year later, He Chunkyu and Liu Ruyan broke up peacefully, and He Chunkyu found a beautiful new girlfriend. Another year passed, and the He family arranged a marriage for He Chunkyu with the darling of a prominent family in the Jiangnan region, whose influence was somewhat weaker than that of the He family. He Chunkyu and the other party met briefly, and the two families smoothly entered into an engagement. With the allure of a humanoid succubus, few elegant ladies could resist her charm. After several dates, He Chunkyu had accomplished everything he needed to. A year later, the two held a low-key but grand wedding. By then, He Chunkyu had become the head of the He family and had very little time to slack off. Being able to spare some time to spend with his beautiful wife from Jiangnan is already a blessing. 4 years after Chen Zhou left the Destiny Villain system, He Chunkyu's first son was born, and the chat groups of all realms sent their congratulations. Among his many colleagues, He Chunkyu lived the most ordinary life. He even had a child. 7 years after Chen Zhou left the Destiny Villain system, He Chunkyu gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl, who were very cute and made Wang Heianen extremely envious. But there was nothing they could do. The birth rate of extreme war gods was very low. Wang Heianen had been trying for 5 years, but Jiang Kaiengxia's belly still showed no signs of pregnancy. Note, time flows differently in different worlds. Zhao Zilong and Chu Ci's widow were not interested in this. One was busy solving interstellar travel technology problems in the laboratory, while the other shamelessly moved into the laboratory to stay. They would occasionally send some dog food, a Chinese slang term for public displays of affection, to the young people and old fogies in the lab, making others envious. Li Feiyu, on the other hand, was still traveling around the initial planet, but without using his real identity. In Li Feiyu's words, with so many superpowers, he can't just keep them to himself and not use them. To this end, Li Feiyu changes his identity almost every 3 to 5 years, hiding among novice superhumans, watching the drama unfold, pretending to be weak while secretly making his own moves, and also conducting incognito visits. Under Li Feiyu's cunning behavior, the leaders of various cities and civilizations have become much more obedient. There's no way around it. The world's strongest man likes to play the sixth man, going undercover and pretending to be weak while actually being strong, and he's even influenced some old guys to do the same.